Have you ever heard of Hatsune Miku? Now me personally, I know of Miku, but I don't really know too much about her, so I thought a good way to actually learn about her would be to play all her games. It'd be a fun way to listen to her music and have a fun activity while doing so. And there surely can't be too many, right? Right? But before we get into the meat of things, let's talk about what Miku really is. Hatsune Miku is a Japanese Vocaloid created by Krypton Future Media. Now, Vocaloid is a voice synthesizer software that samples a real person's voice that you, as the producer, can then use to create music. Personality-wise, Miku doesn't really have one. She's purposely designed this way so you can use her basically for any type of song or story. She could be a cheerful girl, a tyrannical dictator, a princess, or depressed. The only thing that is canon is that she is 16 and 5'2", but even then, that doesn't always apply. Same thing goes for the other Vocaloids, but I'll go more in depth with them when they appear in the games. With that out of the way, let's get to the games, starting with... The first Project Diva game was released on July 2nd, 2009, and it shows. This game has a vibe to it that I haven't felt with any other game. Once you start the game, you are transported into the digital world and get shown the home menu, where you'll be able to access everything the game has to offer. The design of this menu is quite the contrast to how the main menu was, with its bright colors and silhouettes now leaning into a more eerie futuristic feeling, with a lot of dark teals and Miku floating in stasis in the center of the screen. I honestly really love the vibe of this menu. It's almost calming in a way, especially with the music they play. From here, you can access the main attraction of the game, Free Play. This is where you can play the rhythm game portion of the game. The gameplay is pretty fun, button prompts will appear on screen and you have to hit them in time with the song. When you reach the climax of a song, you'll enter Chance Time, which rewards you with a considerable amount of points for keeping a combo going. The song selection from the game is pretty good. We got a total of 32 songs here, and it's actually my first time listening to a lot of these. The World Is Mine, Meld, Far Away, White Dove, Moon, Update My Love List, and All Miku Miku You are pretty superb songs, and have really unique and cool looking backgrounds. In addition to songs Leanne Polka, I'm Your Diva, Electric Angel, The Disappearance of Hatsune Miku, and Requiem for a Phantasma all feature fan art in their videos, which is the first time I've ever seen a game try to incorporate fan art like this. The best songs in the game all come from the producer Oster Project. All three of their songs come with such a jolly feel to them. Miku's dance in Miracle Paint is filled with so much liveliness and fun, and the song has so much whimsy to it. Grumpy Waltz has the best background in the game, showing Miku getting up to some shenanigans in, I don't know, Paris? And Marginal is a pretty good song with a cool looking background. Real quick, I just want to give some honorable mentions to two songs I also really enjoy here, Dear Cocoa Girls and The Secret Garden. Dear Cocoa Girls has that summertime feel to it, helped by the fact the stage takes place at a water park. Secret Garden is the most mid to late 2000 songs in this game, and I love it for that. It's also the song they use for the opening movie. Oh yeah, this game has an opening movie that tries to give a backstory to Miku. Miku is just your average high schooler, and one day she fell asleep while working on some music after school. She then woke up to find a chibi version of herself stealing all of her music. Miku gives chase to the fiend throughout the school, leading to a mysterious room that transports her into the virtual world and turning Miku into a virtual idol. She's given a mic by the little guy and performs to a crowd of people that are just suddenly here now. Anyways, moving on from that bizarre backstory, another thing you can do in this game is create a room for Miku. You can change the room's style, put stuff on shelves, take pictures of Miku, and watch her hang about. There's not too much to do here really. It's only here so you can make a cool room for Miku to hang out in. This is a feature that's in almost every Project Diva game, but this is going to be the only time I really mention this element of the series, because this is basically all the mode is in every game. Another staple in the series that's in this game, that I won't be talking too much about, is the module convert. Here's where you can put Miku in costumes, or as the game calls them, modules. Overall, I would say this is a pretty good game. You know, I just wish there was just like more silhouettes on the title screen. What? Project Diva 2nd released almost exactly 1 year after the first game, and is a vast improvement upon it. First of all, the game actually has a tutorial this time, and showcases the new mechanics of this game, double and long notes. We also get the introduction of duet songs and songs sung by other Vocaloids, such as Kagomita Rin, Kagomita Len, Megarina Luca, Miko, and Kaito. There are also 3 other characters in this game, but these ones don't have any songs tied to them: Akira Neru, Yowana Haku, and Kazuna Tekko. For songs, we got 30 new tracks and 17 returning from the previous game, with updated charting to include the new note types. The new songs this game introduces feel a lot more cinematic than the ones from the previous game, especially with songs like Y to Y, When Love First Ends, and Voice. The song choices are also just great in general, especially with them allowing the other Vocaloids to actually have songs here. Butterfly on Your Right Shoulder is a banger of a song, and look at Letting Go, he is hitting it. Meltdown sounds cool and has the stage take place in a dilapidated building. Cantronella is a classical style piece, which is quite the refresher after 20 techno tracks. Kaito's voice here also complements the song very well. It's so soothing and pretty. Just because these tracks hit so hard doesn't mean Sega lacked on the Miku songs. Romeo and Cinderella, Clover Club, I Really Do Understand, Love Color Ward, and Dear are all absolute bangers. But the best Miku track would have to be Look This Way Baby by Ryo. It's the first and only punk rock-like song in this game, which, just like Cantronella, makes the song stand out quite a lot compared to the rest of the track list. It also has one of the most expressive and bouncy videos in the game, with Miku causing a lot of ruckus in this candy store. On top of that, it's just a really good song. Good enough to be the song for the opening movie. Yes, just like the last game, this one also has an opening movie, and it's actually a sequel to the first games. Rin has just bought a new guitar and is learning how to play. Luca overhears Rin's rot playing and teaches her how to properly play it. Miku hears the guitar and heads over to the two to tell them about the school's festival that's happening, and asks the two to join her in her band. So after hours of training and bonding, the gang is ready to perform. Len hears their magnificent playing and jumps up to the roof to play with them. They then all transform into virtual idols and start playing together. That somehow made less sense than the first game's intro. My only real issue with the game is that the menu lost its vibe it had in the first game. The music is a lot more cheerful and Miku is no longer in stasis. This isn't bad per se, but I did enjoy the more mysterious and cool looking menu of the first game. Overall, this is a massive improvement on the first game. If only they could just extend my enjoyment. Extend my enjoyment. Project Diva Extend is the last of the Diva games on the PSP, and is basically a bonus game. Only 9 songs here are actually new to the series. Every other song has been featured in the series in some way beforehand. Now, this isn't a bad thing. This is actually the best game on the PSP, because a lot of the songs haven't had a proper map for them, like The Disappearance of Hatsune Miku, Electric Angel, and Requiem for the Phantasma. The other song choices here are some of the greatest the series has to offer: Stargazer, Stardust Utopia, Lovers Not Living Oblivion, Solitude's End, Ira Uta, Paradichlorobenzene, Close and Open, Demons in the Dead, and Thousand Year Solo are all bangers. To the End of Infinity just sounds so profound, which is just helped by Rin and Lin harmonizing throughout the piece. Wintry Winds is in the style of a Japanese folk song, which is pretty in line with most Kaido songs being a classical type piece. And just like Kaido's previous song, his voice here just sounds so beautiful, helped by Miko's voice complementing Kaido's very well. Colorful Sexy is a jazz song that just radiates joy and happiness. It just makes me want to get up and do a little jig. Starduster is the sequel to Y to Y, where we see the astronaut fucking die from the ship exploding, and the entire song is Miku lamenting over their death. Spica and Butterfly on Her Right Shoulder have their audio taken specifically from Miku's first solo concert, which is also reflective in the map. The absolute greatest songs in the game, Nai, maybe even the whole series, would have to be Two-Sided Lovers and Rolling Girl, both songs made by Wawaka. Not just because they are some of the best songs to be put in the series, but also for how they handle the videos. Both take very different directions when it comes to this. Rolling Girl is the game's interpretation of what the song is, and they do it fantastically, might I add. Contrastingly, Two-Sided Lover is a sort of remake of the music video, taking several assets, recreating segments, and keeping the style consistent with the video. The only part that changes drastically from the music video is the chorus segment, where we have Miku performing the best dance in the game so far, in front of a scale in the shape of a uterus trying to balance love and lust. You can tell the amount of effort and energy Sega put into both of these songs. Seeing as this is the last game on the PSP, the intro cutscene is a sort of conclusion to the story they've been telling with these. Miku is looking at a chalkboard and notices a note made by Luca telling her to look behind the board for her homework. Said homework is a new piece for the gang to perform, and pretty soon Rin and Len find out about this and join Miku in learning this new song. After learning the song, the gang calls up Luca to meet up with her at the lighthouse. When the gang gets there, they show Luca the work they've done, get transformed, and perform the song. I think this one made more sense than the previous one. Before moving on to the next game, I just want to mention the Dreamy Theater games. These games are console versions of the DIVA games so far, and you may be wondering why I didn't just play these ones instead of the PSP ones, and that's for two reasons. One, the PSP versions are the original versions, and I feel if I'm going to experience these games, I want to experience them the way they were intended to originally. Two, I just think they look ugly. Like, literally a lot of the time, the low poly aesthetic of the PSP versions just look way better than whatever the hell this is. With that out of the way, let's move on to the next era of Project DIVA with Project DIVA F. Now, this is the first actual game on the PS3 and the first DIVA game to be released globally. The game introduces a few new mechanics. We have star notes, which you need to flick with the analog sticks to hit. During songs, technical zones will now activate, where if you don't break your combo while it's active, you are rewarded with a large quantity of points. Chance time has been reworked slightly, where if you're able to fill up the star gauge during it, a special star note will appear at the end of chance time. If you hit it, you'll cause something special to happen. This game also introduces a new mode called Live Studio, where you pick a song and Miku will perform it like she would at an actual concert. Speaking of the songs, there is not a single returning track in this game, except for a few in Live Studio and Ian Polka, because that's still the tutorial song. Not to mention, these new songs are the most expressive, animated, and creative they've ever been. Freely Tomorrow is the best iteration of Miku is actually performing on stage in front of people type map, with really dynamic and fun camera angles, some of which emulate drone cameras you would see at an arena. What's more is that the stage takes place in space, which allows for spacecraft to be surrounding the stadium, Miku flying in a hovercraft, and there to be aliens in the audience. The song also just slaps. Glasses is a very calm and soothing song, which is complemented by the video for the song, which shows Luca in her daily life working at a library. I also like the small detail of the photos in the back showing Rin, Len, Kaito, Miko, and Miku in glasses. I just think that's really funny. Dream Eating Monochrome Baku is a really funky song that has a sick stage play aesthetic. Senbon Sakura is a song all about the westernization of Japan, and it has one of the most beautiful videos in the game, especially the ending bit you get if you succeed at chance time, where everyone comes together in a cherry blossom tree forest. Remote Controller is a song where Rin and Len try to control one another with controllers, and it surprisingly has really good framing and camera work. The song is also one of the best duets between Rin and Len. Fun fact, in the original music video for the song, the controller that Rin has is a Famicom controller, but since the game is made by Sega, they swapped it out for a Dreamcast controller, which is really neat. Nya 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 is the fucking Nyan Cat song, which apparently has been a Miku song this entire time. Rin-chan Now is literally not even a song, it's just Miku and Luca being really obsessed about Rin. Luca wants to mother and look after her, while Miku just wants her so bad. Like, oh my god, she is extremely down bad for Rin in the song. Unhappy Refrain and World's End Dance Hall are my two favorite songs from this game. Unhappy Refrain is just straight up fire. I absolutely adore Kaito and Len's outfits in the song, especially the gas mask they both wear. In addition, I really love the shots we get in this video, especially whenever it cuts to Miku at the podium. World's End Dance Hall has the second best video in the game, and is the best song in the game. The video is a dance battle between Miku and Luca, which escalates them dancing on top trucks that then crash into a building where they then dance together as a team, and normally that's where the insanity would conclude. But if you succeed in chance time, Miku and Luca will then summon dragons and ride them out of the building. Is it accurate to the story of the song? No, not really, but it is really fun, and I'm glad they went in this direction for the video. Now, I say it's the second best video because the absolute best one comes from Sadistic Music Factory. The story here is that you're breaking into an abandoned factory and turning the power back on, only for it to backfire as you're now stuck in the madness of this place. You try to escape, but Miku gives chase, and you make your last sprint towards the exit, desperately trying to close the door until finally you shut it and escape. That is, if you failed chance time. If you had succeeded at chance time, you get the alternate ending of Miku breaking through the door and getting you, making you her eternal prisoner. This is basically the final boss of the game, and is a genuinely unnerving and distressing song and video. This is one hell of a first game to have on the PS3. I just wish there was just more old songs in this game. Project Diva F's second would be released a year after the first, and would be the last game on the PS3. With this game, Sega decided to introduce two new star notes. Link star targets are connected together and increasing the amount of points they give you. Double star notes require you to flick both analog sticks to hit. The song choices are pretty interesting. Half of them are returning songs, while the other half are entirely new. All of the returning tracks receive a massive facelift from how they were on the PSP. A few songs got a couple of new additions to them. The Fox Eyes and Closed and Open Demons of the Dead now glow. Wintry Winds now takes place at night. All Miku Miku U features a redone background with these little Miku guys dancing with her. Miracle Paint's choreography has been completely reworked as Miku now has a cane in it. Sakura, Rain, and Melt both receive entirely new videos that are more like the modern videos of the series. In addition to all of that, these tracks also receive chance time bonuses. Just like last time, a lot of these do boil down to just some like fireworks or something like that going off. But for a few of them, we actually get some alternate endings. For Two-Sided Lovers, we now get that recreation of the chorus and ending bit from the music video. Clover Club, we get an end screen with Miku sitting in a cocktail. Closed and Open, Demons of the Dead have real-ass spirits appear. Miracle Paint, Miku summons a field of grass and paints a heart in the air. And Melt has Miku be transported to the main menu of the first Project Diva game, which is the coolest bit of fan service the series has ever done. For the new songs, these are some of the best in the entire series. This is the Happiness and Peace of Mind Committee, starts off as a generic Project Diva video, but then the background shatters and it's revealed she's actually in the Thunderdome, and the tone of the song receives a major shift. Contranella Grace Edition is a full-on remake of the original song utilizing Kaito V3, and features a slight remix of the instrumental. Kaito's new voice here sounds like heaven. On top of all of that, they completely changed up the video with whole new scenes and choreography. Like, look at this! It's so cool! Blackjack has this sick as hell casino aesthetic, and I really like the tempo of Luca's voice here. Knife is supposed to be a story about Miku and Rin hunting down Len, who's been possessed by an evil katana, but I just like to think they're all just playing pretend and got really into the roles here. Kagura Days is just like a generic Miku video if you didn't pass chance time. If you had successfully cleared chance time at the beginning of the song, you get access to the real video of the song, which has Miku stuck in a Groundhog Day-like scenario, but with death out to get her like in a Final Destination film. This is the best use of the chance time bonuses the series has ever gotten, and I don't think there's a way to top. For other stuff the game has to offer, we got skins for the UI during songs, which in theory I love, but in practice a lot of them end up making the screen feel extremely cramped. Some like Rin Crane Stance and Len Tiger Stance don't get this issue as severely, but the majority of the cooler looking ones get this issue real bad. Live Studio returns with a whole new selection of songs to pick from. We also got control over the camera and audience this time, which is neat. With all the stuff here, this is easily one of the best games in the series. And with the next one being on the PS4, there's no telling how much better it could get. With better videos, gameplay, a bigger track list, and maybe even some Project Diva X is the first game to be on the PS4, and was the last Project Diva game to be released. This game decided to change things up a bit and add an actual story mode to the game, not just opening cutscenes telling an unrelated story. This campaign is fully connected to the songs and is the main way you unlock new songs. The story is Miku has summoned you to the virtual world because it's currently dying, and the only way to save it is to sing, but no one here can sing without a producer, and that's where you come in to help. This digital world is divided up into 5 clouds representing auras. We got neutral, cute, cool, beauty, and chaos. To restore the energy to each world, we need to clear songs in each cloud. You only have access to the neutral cloud right now, so you get started on restoring that cloud's prism. While restoring, we get to meet the other Vocaloids like Rin and Lin, Mieko and Kaito, and Luca. They each tell us some features that are part of this game, like picking the right module for the song, accessorizing yourself to get bonuses, and eventually you complete all the songs in the cloud. But that's not enough to fill the prism. Suddenly, the prism actually starts glowing and it gives birth to a new song. That's just enough to completely fill the prism. Now that the neutral prism is complete, the game can now access all the other clouds to fill their prisms, and so they head off to save the virtual world. Each cloud we visit tells their own little story. In the cute cloud, Kaito is trying to learn how to be cute. In the cool cloud, Miku, Rin, and Luca form a band. In the beauty cloud, Miku tries to learn how to put beauty and grace into her singing with the help of Luca and Mieko. And in the chaos cloud, Rin and Lin are arguing about what chaotic energy really means. Once returning energy to all 5 clouds, Miku decides we need a big celebration and holds a festival. After the festival, Miku tells us she feels like something is still missing. Like, there's still one last song that needs to be unlocked. And then suddenly balls pop out of all the prisms. Kaito comes in and tells us that the voltage that's stored inside of the prisms crystallized and triggered a reaction that increased the pressure inside, which caused the newly formed crystals to pop out. This in turn emptied all the energy that was stored inside the prism. So in theory, if we could go and fill the prisms back up again, we can produce more of these crystals. Miku, after hearing this, thinks that if we get more crystals, the final song could appear. So we once again go through every single cloud and fill up their prisms again. And once that's done, we hold another festival that Miku has a hunch that this will somehow create the new song. And after said festival, the crystals start glowing and summon the final song. This final song is a combination of every single aura we've seen. Only now Miku is able to sing this song because she went through this journey throughout all 5 clouds. After beating the last song, Miku is surrounded by an overwhelming amount of voltage, completely engulfing her. In this engulfment, Miku starts to feel different, all fuzzy and warm inside. At this moment, Miku realizes what voltage really is. It's the energy of happiness. With this realization, Miku finds a new purpose for herself, to sing to as many people as she can, to fill their hearts with joy and bring excitement to people's lives. But there's a slight problem with this purpose. She can't do that without your help. So Miku asks you if she can count on you, and you, of course, say yes. And with that promise, the rest of the gang comes in and congratulates Miku on beating the final song, and putting on a pretty sick show. With Miku thanking you for your help, the credits for the game rolls, and so concludes the story of Project Diva X. Yeah, the story's fine. For a campaign made for a rhythm game, it's serviceable, and it's nice seeing the characters interact with one another, and the way it connects the songs and gameplay into the story was pretty good. Speaking of songs, nearly every single track here is new to the series and are pretty good. Love Song, Calc, The Lost One's Weeping, Holy Lance Explosion Boy, Amazing Docile, Oddities, Streaming Heart, Humorous Dream of Miss Pumpkin, Patrick Stoccato, Tale of the Deep Sea Lily, and Love Trial are all great songs. The best songs the game has to offer have to be the ones you unlock through playing all the songs in the cloud. When you do this, you unlock the special melody that's related to the cloud. These melodies usually consist of songs that have previously appeared in the series, but sometimes they put in 1 or 2 songs that are entirely brand new. If you've watched my last video, you know I'm a sucker for melodies, and these melodies are fantastic. The beginning melody, Primary Colors, and Cute Melody, Idle Sounds, are greatest hits melodies for Oster Project and Machine M respectively. The cool melody, Cyber Rock Jam, features several rock songs featuring either Miku, Rin, or Luca. The beauty melody, Glossy Mixture, features songs by Miku, Luca, and Mieko. The chaotic melody, Giga Remix, primarily focuses on songs that star both Rin and Lin. And the ending melody, Ultimate Exorcist Rampage, features every end song from the first Project Diva game all the way to F2nd. All these melodies do a wonderful job at showing off the aura of each cloud representing, and being really good, especially at transitioning over to songs. The transition between the disappearance of Hatsune Miku and Two-Sided Lovers is godly, and I transcended to another dimension during the transition from Grumpy Waltz to Miracle Paint. Now, with all this positivity, you would think the game is great. Well, while the game does feature all new songs to the series, There are only 30 songs in the game, 6 of which are melodies, and 2 being returning songs, making the total of brand new songs 22, which is around the same F2nd had, but F2nd also got 20 enhanced returning tracks. Their new tracks also had some of the best videos in the series. This game has no cool videos. Every single video is the exact same, with the only difference being what background. I have 2 theories for why Sega released the videos the way they did. Theory 1, the story. The game's story has us visiting each of these clouds and singing the songs there, so it wouldn't really make sense story-wise for us to then play songs that show Miku being a high schooler, having Kaito in a fantasy world, or trapping Len in a cage. Theory 2, those damn music festivals. For the music festivals in the game, you can pick from a variety of songs to play in them. You can then also choose what background you want for the song when you play it in the festival. This means they made every video in this game with this mode in mind, for you can easily swap out the background and have everything still be good. But that's not all for the bad decisions this game made. For this game only, the only way for you to unlock modules is to clear chance time, which causes a gacha game ass animation to play to show what module you got. This completely replaces the chance time clearing system that was in the F games. Not that it would even work with how the videos are in this game. Modules and accessories in this game as a whole are classified in the same way clouds are, with them either being neutral, cute, cool, beauty, or chaos. If you wear the module or accessory that is in the same classification as the cloud, it increases the percentage you achieve voltage to pass a song. But here's the thing, when you got everything on, you look ridiculous. I don't want to play a song while everyone looks like a goofy goober. All this just adds up to the game just generally being less fun than the other titles in the series, and just being an embarrassment, which sucks because this game had so much potential and a lot of good quality still. I think after all of that, we need a bit of a detour from the Project DIVA series. And what a better detour than Project Mirai, baby, yeah! The Project Mirai games were a sort of sister series that were made for the 3DS, giving Nintendo fans that Project DIVA love. But when it came to adapting the gameplay, they certainly took an interesting choice. It's basically just Monkey Watch from Rhythm Heaven. It certainly is a unique kind of gameplay and works fine, but I feel like the regular Project DIVA gameplay would have worked just as fine as well. I can only assume Sega made a change as drastically as this because it's not a DIVA game and wanted to have it stand out more. I feel like they already achieved that though, with the art style of the game having all the characters be chibi. Fun fact actually, their chibi designs are based off of Nendoroids made by the Good Smile Company. For songs, Sega decided to have half be with 3D models and the other half be with the actual music videos for the songs. I feel like they did this due to time restraints, or they just really wanted to show off the 3D feature of the 3DS. A lot of the songs here definitely lean into a more cutesy and pop tone to fit with the art style of the game. Tricolor Airline has a really cute airport aesthetic. Piano Girl has the Oster Project art style. Sing and Smile has the gang cute cheerleader outfits, and Animal Fortune Telling has cute ass animals. We still have songs that deviate from this, like On the Rocks, a jazz song where Miko and Kaito just absolutely kill it. Just look at Kaito go on that piano. Mozo Sketch is a rock song that features Miku singing and dancing on top of a school that transforms throughout the song. Then we got an interesting pair of songs here with The Daughter of Evil and The Servant of Evil, which tell 2 halves of the same story. In Daughter of Evil, we get Rin's perspective. Rin rules over the kingdom as the princess with an iron fist, and has her brother as her right-hand man. She would constantly use funds to buy whatever she wanted, and if she ever ran out, she would just use her peasant's money. One day she fell in love with a prince in blue, but it turns out he was in love with a commoner in the green kingdom. Filled with jealousy, she ordered not only for that commoner to be killed, but to slay everyone in the green kingdom and completely decimate it. When the news of this rampage reached Rin's kingdom, the people had enough and stormed the castle to overthrow her. Due to the knights having just fought the Green Kingdom, they were too exhausted to fight back, which led to the people being able to find Rin and take care of her. The people would then cut off Rin's head and celebrate the execution of the evil princess, finally freeing themselves from her tyranny. In Servant of Evil, we get Len's side of things, where we learn that at a very young age, Rin and Len were separated from one another. Rin was trained to be a proper princess, and Len was trained on how to be the best servant to Rin. Len would make sure to serve and protect Rin no matter what, even if it meant becoming evil itself. One day while visiting the Green Kingdom, Len met a commoner girl who had the voice of an angel and a smile so pure of heart. He quickly fell for the girl, but unfortunately this was the same girl who the Blue Prince was in love with. So when Rin ordered for the girl to be killed, Len followed the order because she is his princess and he is her servant. It's his job to keep her safe and happy no matter what. And just like in Rin's version, the castle gets stormed by the angry townsfolk, but something different happens here. Len isn't going to let the people take his sister, so he hatches a plan. He and Rin will swap clothes as they look identical. They do the swap, and Len is now the princess and Rin is now on the run. Len's plan worked, and the people are now fooled by the disguise, and Len is executed with the people thinking it was Rin. Rin is now forced to live her life on the streets as a peasant, without any of the luxuries she was used to as a princess. This possibly being a punishment by fate for all the injustices she committed as a princess, forever to repent for all of her sins. Jesus Christ, that is a really good story. I was not expecting that Len twist, and the amount of world building these songs were able to do in the little amount of time they had is impressive. I want to know more about the Prince in Blue, the Green Commoner Girl, and the Red Armor Swordswoman. Well, as it turns out, this is a small part of an entire AU known as the Evilness Chronicles. The whole premise of this AU is that there are these 7 objects inhabited by demons known as Vessels of Sin. Each vessel has had a prominent host that they have influence. In these songs, we explore how much calamity these hosts have caused with their vessel's power. The story I just told you was just a small part of the Daughter of Evil series. And it's not just told through music, there are several light novels, manga, and a whole ass stage adaptation. They even got some Nendoroids recently. From what I can tell, the creator of the Evilness Chronicles, Monty, is still adding new songs to the franchise, which is insane for an AU that started in 2008. Moving on from that little side tangent, we have a special guest here. Gumi! She only appears in 2 songs, but the fact they even let songs that feature Gumi actually singing in them is impressive, as she is not a Vocaloid made by Krypton Future Media. This game honestly has one of the best track lists in the entire series. The only real thing holding it back from being truly great is this stupid turntable. Well, apparently Sega thought so too, as they made a sequel that completely changes the gameplay to be more like Project DIVA. There are actually 2 options for how it works though. You can have it use the button controls or use touch controls. In this game, we also get every single song from the previous game along with 26 new songs. Sadly, Sega didn't use this game to make some of the songs that were just their original music videos into a 3D music video. Despite that, they were able to make a pretty stellar track list even better. Sweet Magic is a really cute written song. Doramifa Rondo is a really fun march song that has a little Gumi cameo at the end. 1925 has Miku be a train conductor. Cendrillon and Adolescence have the same instrumental, but different lyrics, with Cendrillon being a retelling of Cinderella, while Adolescence talks about how 2 siblings feel growing up together. Snowman has a really nice looking winter town in the background, and Kaito in a sick ass winter coat. 1-2 Fan Club is the first time we get a 3D model of Gumi singing in a song. Pianoforte Scandal is a sick spy thriller song that has a video that's really reminiscent of the kind in F and F Second, with how much is going on. On top of that, we also get returning tracks from the mainline series, but with some differences. We also did have returning tracks in like the first game, but there were like 2, so I'm just going to cover them here as well. Romeo and Cinderella and The World Is Mine are the least change out of the returning tracks, but they have major differences to their Project DIVA counterparts. Both feature big alterations to the stage and different camera angles, and include the entirety of their songs. Electric Angel is a sort of different interpretation of its Diva equal, but it's still keeping the digital world feel to it. Finder completely changes the music video from how it was in Diva by just keeping Miku on a stage rather than having her dance around some town. Melancholic is just the original music video now. Senbon Sakura chose to represent the westernization of Japan in a different way, by having Miku now ride atop a train whilst flags of other countries are hanging in the air. Clover Club has Miku as a waitress in a bar, with Kaido in the background as a bartender perpetually mixing a drink. And Kokoro actually tells the story of the song. I honestly prefer a lot of these to their DIVA versions, as these ones tend to be more creative, more accurate to the song, and just better looking. This is not saying I now dislike the original ones, I still love them to death, it's just now some have better versions to play. For stuff outside of the rhythm game portion, we got straight up Puyo Puyo. Like, no joke, Sega just decided to have a Puyo Puyo side game here. With all the new additions this game adds, I just wish Sega made 3D music videos for the ones that are still their original music videos. Oh wait! Sega also released Project Mirror DX, which is just this game, but every song now has a 3D music video. Yippee! Alright, that was a nice little detour. Now to talk about the last bit of Project DIVA stuff. The arcade games! In total, there are 2 versions of these cabinets. There's the original Project DIVA arcade, which primarily has songs from Project DIVA 1, 2nd, and Extend, along with a sizable amount of original tracks exclusive to the arcade. Then there's Future Tone, which has songs from F, F2nd, Mira, Mira 2, along with a handful of exclusive tracks. For gameplay, they had to change things up a lot during the process of turning the game into an arcade cabinet. The triangle, circle, X, and square inputs are front and center on the board, but there are no other button inputs, so no double notes. On top of that, there are also no analog sticks, so no star notes either. But with the Future Tone cabinet, we do get a touch panel, for you can actually do the equivalent to star notes in this game, slider notes. Long notes kind of exist here, it's just now you don't have to hold the note down anymore. If you do though, you just get bonus points. And then we got an entirely new mechanic to this game, multi-button notes, where you have to hit 2 or more completely different notes at the same time. Future Tone would actually get a port to the PlayStation 4 in 2016. This port would combine the track lists of Project DIVA Arcade and Future Tone into one game. All the songs are split into 2 categories though, Future Sound, which has nearly every song from Project DIVA 1 to F2nd, and Colorful Tone, which has almost nearly every song that was in the Mirror games and the arcade original tracks. This makes for 224 songs, which is crazy. It's honestly more crazy seeing a lot of the Mirror songs with normal characters instead of Nendoroids, and they all look absolutely gorgeous. The way to get modules has also been streamlined, with all of them being available immediately from the start, so you can just buy the outfit and equip it right off the bat. This all comes together to make the definitive Project DIVA game, but I do have some slight nitpicks. The gameplay is still the exact same to how it was on the arcade, so that means no double, long, and star notes, which bumps me out. In addition to that fact, this is a port of the arcade games, which means they didn't add anything that wasn't in those games. So none of the Gumi songs are here, which makes sense as Gumi is a character and Vocaloid Krypton does not own. Not a single new track from X is in this game, but that also can be excused because both X and this game released in the same year and on the same console, so it wouldn't make sense for Sega to put songs for their newly released game on this one that contains nearly 10 times the amount of songs that game has. Where the hell is Daughter of Evil and Servant of Evil? Those 2 songs are some of the best in the entire franchise, and they're just not here. No Kaguryo Days? That song features one of, if not the most creative video in the entire series, and for it to only be featured in F2nd is a crime. Why isn't the normal version of World's End Dance Hall here? If Senbon Sakura and Butterfly on the Right Shoulder can get 2 versions, why can't this song? None of the updated or remastered tracks and chance time events from F2nd or Mira are here, which is the thing that saddens me the most about this game. It means none of the updates given to Melt, Miracle Paint, Two-Sided Lovers, World Is Mine, Romeo and Cinderella, Clover Club, Kokoro they're just not here. And that is so sad! Again, these are just nitpicks I have with the game. It's still one of the best entries, just from the track size alone, and a great jumping on point for newcomers. In 2020, Future Tone would get a port to the Nintendo Switch, and later to Steam in 2022 with the release of Project DIVA Mega Mix. This port would completely change the art style to a more cel-shaded cartoon-looking one rather than the realism the series has had since the first game. In this version, we would get 10 brand new songs to the franchise, which would be the first piece of entirely new content in 4 years. 5 of these songs receive 3D music videos, while the other 5 are just their original music videos, which normally would be something I would complain about, but I'm just happy we actually have new content here. On top of that new content, we also received a new playstyle in the Switch version that utilizes the Joy-Con motion controls in mix mode. For this mode, you hold the Joy-Cons vertically in your fists and tilt them slightly left or right to move towards notes, and then hit the triggers to hit the notes. It takes some getting used to, but it's honestly a really fun playstyle I wouldn't mind seeing return in a future title. In addition to that playstyle, we also get another entirely exclusive mode to the Switch, Tap Mode, which has the arcade buttons appear on the bottom of the screen, so you can tap the general area where the corresponding notes appear. This mode is not as fun as mixed mode, but I'm glad it's here. Now, you might have noticed for the last 8 years, Sega has just been re-releasing the same game. And that's because, to Sega, Project DIVA is not a profitable franchise. The production cost to make a new DIVA game is way too high for what they get back in return, and it's very likely we will never see a new DIVA game for a very long time. And while that may be the case, the Project DIVA series is still an intensely creative and fun franchise that has allowed me and others to learn and discover more about Miku and Vocaloids in general. Mega Mixed is still a fantastic jumping on point for newcomers due to the vast track list and the fact that it is the only Project DIVA game to be on PC. It's not like Sega left Miku altogether. They actually have a successor to Project DIVA that has become way more profitable than the entirety of the Project DIVA franchise. It's the most successful Miku game out there, and it succeeded at what X tried to do, but we'll get to that later. It's time to move on to...
Are you good, man?
I think he's having the time of his life.
With any popular character, there is bound to be a plethora of mobile games to cash in on that, and Hatsune Miku is no different. Unfortunately, the mass majority of Hatsune Miku mobile games are delisted, so actually finding footage and writing for this segment was pretty hard to do. First games we got are Miku Flick and Miku Flick 2. Both of these games play like Taiko no Tatsujin the Drum Master, but to hit the notes you gotta flick where the arrow tells you. Oh, I see what they did there. The visuals of the game just took the music videos from Project DIVA Arcade and shoved them in here. For a mobile game, it looks pretty fun. Unfortunately, both of these games have been delisted for years now due to modern iOS not being able to support the games. We also have Miku Kolai, a card collecting game where you battle objects. I honestly can't really tell you if I even would have liked this game because it got delisted in 2020 and nearly every video of this game I can find is just people pulling for cards. Hatsune Miku Live Stage Producer is basically a combination of those restaurant builder games and Fruit Ninja. In this game, you own a club that Miku performs in, and it's your job to make it popular and to make sure Miku is doing a good job. For the restaurant builder side of the game, you can purchase furniture, wallpapers, and stages for the club to attract more customers. The stages you buy actually do change what a stage looks like during Miku's performances. They have quite a lot of stages to choose from, like World is Mine, Two-Faced Lovers, Miracle Pain, and Puppy Pull. The Miku performance section of the game plays like Fruit Ninja. For these performances, your goal is to get the highest combo possible, because if you do that, you're rewarded with lots of gold, which you can then use to buy more stuff for the club, upgrade Miku's stats she has, and don't ask me what they do, I don't know, I was never able to play the game. And also buy different modules for Miku. There are actually some exclusive modules in this game, surprisingly enough, like these witch and steampunk ones. Shame they're locked to this mobile game. Another shame is that this game got delisted in 2015. Hatsune Miku Roller Skating Music is a roller skating racing rhythm game. The primary gameplay has you roller skating in one of 4 lanes. In these lanes, many obstacles will come in your way, such as sound energy, pedals, barriers, and rails. Each of these obstacles have different ways to overcome them. Sound energy, you just need to be in the lane it's in by the time you hit it. Pedals, you have to be a bit more accurate with, because now you need to change into the lane it's in when it's right next to you. Barriers will be right in front of you, forcing you to jump over them. And rails can appear on both sides of you as well as in front of you. They act similarly to pedals and barriers, but you need to hold on them until the rail ends. Each time you successfully clear one of these obstacles, you fill up a bar at the top of the screen. When it fills up, your speed increases and you get a new bar to fill. There are 4 speeds you can get to with these bars. If you do end up making a mistake, your bar will deplete a bit, possibly sending you down a level. There are 2 modes in this game, Explorer mode and Racing mode. Explorer mode is the single player side of the game, where you get to experience the story mode, partake in events, race against CPUs, and do some weird AR stuff. I would try to explain what the story of this game is, but all the footage I could find just shows the intro and the first few levels of the first world. Racing mode is where all the multiplayer stuff is, which is just races against other people. And as you can see by the footage here, there are a total of 4 playable characters in this game: Miku, Kaito, Rin, and Len. All of these characters also come with a variety of modules you can dress them up in. This honestly is the best mobile game I've seen so far. It has a really unique concept and gameplay, a pretty good track list, and tons of replay value. Alas, like every other mobile game before this, it has been delisted. Hatsune Miku Dreamy Vocal is a globe-trotting piano-tile rhythm game. If you have played a piano tile game, then you've played this game. There's also a ton of other stuff in this game, like a possible story mode and general interactions with the Vocaloids, but there is no footage I could find of this aspect of the game. And oh wow, would you look at that, the game also got delisted. Butsuka Runner Hatsune Miku is a snowboarding endless runner game where you need to go as far as possible without getting hit. While this game did get delisted, I was almost able to actually play it since the APK file for it still works. Unfortunately, my phone is too new for it to work, as a loading screen would get stuck on my screen and none of the buttons would work. Hatsune Miku Tap Wonder, you know Cookie Clicker? It's that both Miku. This game got delisted January of this year. You know that card game Tycoon? Well, they made a Miku version of it called Hatsune Miku Tycoon, and it's exactly what it says, Tycoon both Hatsune Miku. You can actually still download this game, surprisingly enough. Another game you can actually download right now is Miku Logic Paint. It's Hatsune Miku Picross. And what I mean by that is that this is just a generic Picross game with barely any theming. Now, I'm not saying this is a bad game, you can never go wrong with Picross, but they could have had more Vocaloid-centric images to make. And then we got the duology of the Amiguru games, with Hatsune Miku Amiguru Train and Hatsune Miku Amiguru Jump. Both of these games stylize all the Vocaloids as Amigurumi dolls, and all these designs look very cute. Unfortunately, cuteness can't save how mediocre these two are. In Amiguru Jump, you're jumping, and that's it. It's not even that fun, you end up getting stuck in between platforms a lot. Then we got Amiguru Train, which I actually kinda like. The main gameplay is to collect yarn balls on the road to extend the train, avoid or break through obstacles in your way, and manage to get to the end without losing all passengers on the train. It's really simple gameplay, but goddamn is it fun. The only thing I don't really enjoy is that every single time you fail, an ad will play no matter what. But other than that, I enjoyed my time with this game. Aside from a few lifestyle apps, this was pretty much every single Hatsune Miku mobile game I could find. Yep. Every single one. Not missing any here. The rest of the games here are more like oddball games. Games you wouldn't really expect to have Miku. Like Miku Miku Hockey, an AR air hockey game that only released on the Vita. I mean, it looks like it'd be fun for like 30 minutes. For a game that will keep your attention for more than 30 minutes, we got Fit Boxing featuring Hatsune Miku. This game differs from the other Fit Boxing games by having a more anime-like art style, Miku, Luca, Rin, and Len as partners, and 30 Vocaloid songs like Adi, Vampire, Fire Flower, Melt, Romeo and Cinderella, World's End Dance Hall, The End of Hatsune Miku, Alien Alien, and 6 entirely brand new songs made for this game. On top of all of that, the gameplay is really fun and addictive. It's a boxing rhythm game, which is just the greatest combination of things ever. Every jab, hook, uppercut, and weave feels so satisfying to perform. And then you got rushes in there, which feel even better to do. This is not only one of the best fitness games you can get, but also one of the best Hatsune Miku games you can play. But if fitness isn't your forte, there's always Hatsune Miku, the planet of wonder and fragments of wishes. A Miku minigame collection with a story, and I'm gonna be so honest here. I have rewritten this segment like 3 times. This is the most mediocre story I have ever experienced, and actually describing and like writing down what happened is so unbelievably boring and painful. Like, I cannot find an interesting way to describe the story here. Basically, the only purpose of the story here is to show you what minigames are in the game and also tell you that you shouldn't take advantage of your friends. Like, that's it. And the minigames, like, overall, they're not even that good. I think the best way to describe my feelings on the minigames is to rank them in a tier list. The minigame at the absolute bottom is Amiguru Jump. It's just a mobile game, but on consoles, it still sucks. Next one is Catch an Apple, and it's like a Mario Party minigame, but unlike Mario Party, there's not really an incentive to do well other than fun, but it's not really that fun when you don't have an incentive. Play from Memory is just like a memory game, and it's fun, but there's only 10 rounds. I feel like it would have been really good if like there was an endless mode, so Doki Doki Parachute, you're trying to get to the bottom without hitting anything and collecting as many coins as possible. It's enjoyable, but like, isn't really that fun. Balance Cardboard Box, you're trying to balance cardboard boxes on your head while making it to the end. And yeah, I don't know, this one's alright as well. It's just like slightly more fun, I guess, than Doki Doki Parachute, but like, it still isn't that fun. Pickup and Delivery is like those BioShock minigames, and just like those minigames, it's fun for like 5 seconds, and then it gets really boring and tedious. Nom Cake is just a masher. You're just mashing as fast as you can, and honestly, it's pretty fun. Amiguru Train is just Amiguru Train, but in widescreen, and I already like the game, so Wobbly Building Blocks is the best game here. It's pretty fun, you got some Vocaloid themed blocks to place, and it's pretty challenging as well. When you put all of it together, it's like a alright game for, how much does this game cost? $30! Jesus Christ! Well, if you're not willing to spend $30 on this minigame collection, there's a couple of puzzle games you can try out. There's a deluxe version of Logic Paint for PC and consoles called Logic Paint S. This version is actually a lot better than the mobile version. For starters, a lot of the puzzles are actually themed around music and the Vocaloids. We have 20 by 20 puzzles now, and double the amount of special stages. You can also have either Miku, Ren, Len, Luca, Mieko, or Kaito in the corner while completing puzzles. Don't know if this is just me, but playing Picross with a mouse or controller feels way better than touch controls, as my method for solving these involves a lot of counting and it's easier to do that with a physical controller. But if Picross isn't your thing, first of all, how dare you? Second, you can try out the Miku Jigsaw Puzzle, which is just solving jigsaw puzzles. I don't know exactly how popular virtual jigsaw puzzle games are, but this is a really satisfying game. I get the same amount of satisfaction for completing a puzzle here as I do in real life. There's not really anything else to say. It is literally just jigsaw puzzles. The next one is probably the strangest game here. Hatsune Miku Connecting Puzzles Tamagotori is a puzzle game where you're trying to clear the screen by connecting 2 matching eggs together. For such an odd concept, it's really fun and charming. Some of these connections are actually challenges to achieve, and it's really cute. The higher a combo you get, birds dressing up like Miku and friends start dancing at the bottom of the screen. Actually, other than the birds, there's not really that much
Miku theming in this game.
Hatsune Miku VR is if you looked at Beat Saber and thought, what if Miku?
The main gameplay has you hit notes that floating speakers produce. The speakers are in formation of a circle, meaning these notes can come from one of 8 places. On paper this sounds like pretty basic yet alright mechanics, except the game executes these mechanics so poorly. The music notes are hard as hell to make out due to the fact that a majority of the thing is clear, changes to a red when it gets close to you, and half of the time is blocked by Miku dancing in front of you. On top of that, for a majority of the songs, the notes aren't even in rhythm and feel absolutely awful to hit. Comparing this to something like Beat Saber really shows how bad this game fails. In Beat Saber, the notes you hit are big ass cubes and are color coordinated with the saber you hit them with. You also hit the cubes in rhythm with the songs, and some maps are made with you dancing with the song in mind. It honestly sucks how much I dislike Miku VR because the idea of a Miku VR rhythm game is fantastic. But we end up getting a half-baked VR rhythm game instead. At least a rhythm game wasn't the only good idea for a Miku VR game there was. Hatsune Miku VR Future Live is a Miku concert simulator where you can experience a Miku concert in the comfort of your own home. And when I say Miku concert, I mean a Miku concert, as this game actually gives you instructions on how to properly use light sticks, yelling out specific parts of songs, and even chanting Miku's name at the end of the show for an encore. Funnily enough, while working on this video, Miku Expo was happening and I was able to actually go see a Miku concert in real life, so I can actually compare this to the real thing. Little side note here, but I would actually graduate in the same venue as the concert, which is really weird to think about. The game is free, but to actually get any content, you need to buy one of 3 DLC stages, each costing 15 bucks. The first one features only Miku songs, the second features songs from Miku, Luca, Rin, and Len, and the third features songs from all of the Vocaloids. For each of these stages, they consist of 3 rounds of songs, and for each round, you vote for the song you want to be played. During performances, by following the light stick instructions, you can cause certain things to happen, like changing what you have in your hand or the current module of the Vocaloid. Then you get events that are out of your control, like giant hologram projections, floating platforms that go around the venue, a rhythm minigame, and tons of special effects. All of this makes for an experience that's close to a real Miku concert, but utilizes the fact that it's in a virtual space to the game's advantage. There's only 2 things I don't really like about this game. The first one happens when you get an encore. After getting the whole audience to chant Miku's name, you get transported to a dome in a white void, where Miku performs a song just for you. A lot of this game's appeal was being able to experience a Miku concert, so when you get transported to this void with just you and Miku, it doesn't feel like a concert anymore. It just feels like watching one of those MMD videos on YouTube. It takes away from the whole appeal of the game, and it's just kind of boring, as the only thing you can really do here is watch Miku. I mean, you still have your light stick, but it's just not the same without the massive crowd and stage. The second thing I don't really like about this game is that they don't have a band introduction. You see, for Miku concerts, they give introductions to every member of the band by having each of them perform solos. This is to give credit to the people actually performing the shows and have the audience show their appreciation for these people. This point is honestly more of a nitpick, as there isn't really a way for the game to do this without making new remixes of every song in the game and having the band members in the background and then create models for them as well. And then you would have to figure out if you want to create fictional people for these bands or create the actual people who need to be credited. It's just a whole hassle to do, so I can see why they didn't go through with it. Other than those 2 complaints, this is a pretty good game and a really good simulator for a Miku concert. Now, there is only one game left, and if you've been paying attention, it's pretty clear what it is. Hatsune Miku Project SEKAI Colorful Stage is a rhythm game visual novel gacha game hybrid that has become the most profitable Miku game ever. I don't even know where to start with this game. There is so much content here. The best place to start would probably be the biggest part of the game, the visual novel half. This is what a majority of the game is and how you unlock the resources to unlock more songs to play. The story here isn't really about Miku herself, but rather Miku and the gang trying to help out people. There are 5 groups Miku and friends help out: Leonid, More Jump, Vivid Bad Squad, Wonderlands Showtime, and Nightcord at 25. The main stories for each group serve as a sort of origin for each group and how exactly Miku helped each of them out. There's also 100 event stories that continue the stories of these groups, but I'm not covering those to not make this video 20 hours long, so I'm just going to tell the main story of each group, starting with Many years ago, there was a group of 4 friends. Hoshino Ichika, Tenma, Mochizuki Hanami, and Hinomori Shiho. These 4 were very close with one another. They even had a band together. They were utterly inseparable. That would be until Saki got the illness and was hospitalized for the foreseeable future. The gang still tried to be friends, but as the years went on, the 4 would begin to grow more distant to each other. By the time they all reach high school, they're all practically strangers to one another. Ichika has been trying to maintain her friendships with Hanami and Shiho, but Shiho has a part-time job at a live house, and Hanami has a new friend group. Not to mention they're practically avoiding her like the plague. While lamenting in her room, Ichika's phone starts to glow, and she gets sucked into it. She gets transported into her SEKAI, which is a classroom. And while trying to make sense of things, Hatsune Miku and Luka welcome her.
驚かせてごめんなさい。でも心配しないで。私たちはこの世界であなたたちを手伝うためにいるの。いつかたちはきっと同じ思いを持ってる。だからまた。そうね。私たちは世界で待ってるから今度はみんなも一緒にね。
Huh?
And as quickly as she came, she was ejected out of the SEKAI. When Ichika comes to, she figures that whole thing was just a weird dream and goes back to sleep. The next day at school, a new student gets introduced to Ichika's class, and it's none other than Saki. She's fully recovered from the illness and is back at school. Ichika, while surprised, is happy to have her friend again, and they have lunch together. While on their way to lunch, they actually stumble across both Shiho and Hanami. But like always, they try to get away from Ichika as fast as possible. After school, Ichika and Saki go out to get some boba together, as that's something she was never able to do before. But while drinking, Saki is a bit sad they couldn't get the whole gang back together. The next day, Saki tries to talk to Shiho and Hanami, but just like with Ichika, they avoid her. This really makes her wonder what happened between everyone since she got the illness. She tells Ichika about this, but doesn't dwell on it for too long as she asks her about some song recommendations. While going through her playlist, she stumbles across a song called Untitled, but when she clicks on it, a white light envelops the two, and they're transported into the SEKAI. They hear some singing in the building and decide to follow it. While following the noise, they find that both Shiho and Hanami are here. Both are confused on how they got here, but follow the noise just like Ichika and Saki. They're now all following the noise, and discover it was Hatsune Miku the whole time. Not only that, but all their instruments are here too somehow. Shiho is taking none of this and wants out. Miku tells her she'll tell her how to get out once they all play a song with her. And fortunately, that one song is one they all know, as they all played it together in an old band. And despite not playing together in years, they don't do half bad.
Okay, are we done? Because I want to go back.
Wait.
What is it now?
Shiho, Hona, Ichi. Let's get the band back together.
Are you joking?
Oh, come on. We had so much fun just now, right?
No, it wasn't.
Even Miku noticed the song has a special place in our hearts. I think that you and Hanami actually liked playing it, even though you won't admit it.
I don't want to be in a band with you, period.
I'm sorry, but I don't think I want to do this either.
I've had enough. Tell me how to get out of here.
そうだね。みんなここに来るとき曲を再生したでしょ？アンタイトルはこの世界と君たちの現実をつなぐ入り口だから再生すればここに来られて止めれば戻れるよ。
That silent track got us here? Whatever. At least now I can get back out. Bye.
I'll be going too.
Oh, looks like we're not friends anymore.
諦めるの？
Huh?
あの二人とも一緒にいたいんじゃないの？
You're right. If I give up now, we'll lose any chance we might have at getting back together. I don't have a plan or anything, but I'm not giving up. That's for sure.
The next day, Shiho and Hanami are talking about what happened yesterday, but are interrupted when Hanami's friends come by to pick her up for lunch. Hanami leaves Shiho, and then her friends instantly start talking shit about Shiho. And Hanami just goes along with it, which makes Shiho pissed. On the other side of school, Ichika and Saki are also talking about what happened yesterday. Saki is mainly talking about how sad it is that Shiho and Hanami don't want to get the band back together. That thought then gives Ichika an idea. Why don't they just start a band together? Just the two of them. And because this idea wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for the SEKAI, they go in to thank Miku for leading them to the idea of making a band. When they thank Miku, Miku tells them they can go ahead and practice in the SEKAI with her and Luca, who has always been here the whole time. After a whole lot of practice, Ichika and Saki leave and part ways for today. All this instrument playing has gotten Ichika reminiscing about Shiho and Hanami, like that one time where Shiho told her to fuck off and never speak with her again, or that time Hanami was eating lunch alone, very sad and depressed. Speaking of Hanami...
Oh,
You bought some apple pies? Wait, is that bag all apple pies?
yes, it's so embarrassing. Please don't tell anyone.
Saki and I went to Miku's place again today. We played Untitled and it took us there. We also decided to start a band.
Oh, just the two of you?
Yeah, but you're welcome to join if you'd like.
I think I'll pass.
I figured you'd say that.
Sorry, I was just on my way to buy something. I'd better go.
The next day after school, Ichika and Saki head over to the music store to pick up a new synth for Saki, and they end up running into Shiho there.
Hey, how are you? Haven't seen you since that last time in SEKAI. What are you up to, shopping?
Yeah. You?
I'm also looking to buy something. A synthesizer.
Why?
Because we started a band. Miku and her friends from SEKAI are helping us practice.
Are you kidding me? You're doing band practice with Miku? I see where this is going. Listen, I've got no intention of joining your band.
Oh, don't be like that. I haven't even asked you yet.
I sometimes play bass at the live house where I work if the usual bassist can't make it. I'm fine on my own.
But I want to spend more time with you. Lots more. And I want you in our band. I want Hona to join too. Let's play together, the four of us.
I'm not going to join a band that doesn't take itself seriously. Can you learn to play the song by next week? If you can play this with me, I'll consider joining your band.
I'll learn it. I'll start practicing right away. You too, right, Ichi?
After buying the synthesizer, Ichika and Saki jump right back into SEKAI and start practicing this new song. After a good amount of practicing, Saki tells Ichika about an original tune she's been making.
Huh, that's really neat.
You think so? Yay! You used to write song lyrics at one point, remember?
Yeah, I had that phase. But I stopped writing a while back. But I'll be happy to listen to any of your creations.
Thanks. By the way, did you notice this?
Is this a star map?
Yeah, as if the class was preparing for a stargazing trip. I'd love to go stargazing myself.
それなら、屋上に行かない？
Wow, look at that. I don't think I've ever seen the night sky so clear.
But how is this possible? The sun was setting only a moment ago.
この世界はあなたたちの思いから生まれた世界だから、あなたたちの思いによって、姿形を変えるのよ。
Our feelings.
A week has passed and the three meet up to play, and the practice paid off as Ichika and Saki are not only playing the song really good, but also keeping up with Shiho. Unfortunately, Saki collapses while playing.
Saki, what's wrong? Are you okay?
Sorry, I didn't say anything. I think I've worked up a fever.
I'll call an ambulance.
No, I'm fine. It's just a cold. Do you mind if I lie down for a bit?
How are you feeling? Any better?
Yeah, thanks. I just needed a break.
Despite practicing with you every day, I didn't notice you were sick. I'm sorry.
It's my fault for making you overwork yourself.
No, it's nobody's fault but mine for not realizing my limits. I was having so much fun today that I just didn't want to stop, even when I knew I should have.
I thought you hated me, Shiho. I didn't think we'd get to hang out like this ever again.
Shiho, what happened while I was in the hospital?
A few years ago, Shiho got put into a class that none of her friends were in. A lot of people in that class would ask if she wanted to hang out with them, but due to Shiho being incredibly antisocial, she would decline every invite, which would lead her to gain a reputation of being a bit rude and standoffish. This wouldn't bother Shiho, but when the rumors started to stain the reputations of Hanami and Ichika, that's where she drew the line and completely cut ties with them.
Why didn't you say anything?
Because you'd have worried, and then you would have come to talk to me at school. Those girls would only get nastier.
Well, thanks for telling us now. It's good to know you didn't totally change to start hating us.
Shiho, no matter what anyone says, I want to be your friend.
Meh, I messed it all up anyway. If I really cared about protecting you, I shouldn't have agreed to this session. So much for self-control. Well, I warned you, at least. So, if you want to keep this going, don't come crying to me later saying you can't hack it.
Shiho, are you saying you'll...
Join your band. Yeah, if that's okay with you.
We couldn't be happier to have you. Welcome to the band, Shiho.
Woohoo! This is huge! Ichi, we got Shiho to join our band. We really did it!
With Shiho on board, all that was left to do was get Hanami on board. Somehow. A few days pass and Ichika gets the chance to speak with Hanami. She asks Hanami if she still doesn't want to join the band, in which Hanami responds with her sad-ass backstory, where she reveals that a few years ago, she was accused of being a people pleaser and a bootlicker, because she was being nice to people. So to stop these accusations, she pledged her loyalty to only one friend group. After revealing that, Hanami then leaves to go have lunch with her friends. Ichika tells Saki and Shiho about this interaction, which gives Saki an idea. She's going to give up on bringing Hanami in the band. So the next day she goes up to Hanami and tells her that she's giving up on her, and goes back to Ichika and Shiho, totally not crying the entire time. Shiho has had enough of this nonsense and goes to have a chat with Hanami.
Hanami,
Oh, Shiho, sorry. I've got to take something to the teacher's room.
are you going to keep evading me forever? I heard about your classmate troubles. You've been acting weird ever since.
Well,
You'll probably think I'm full of crap for saying this to you after I tried to cut ties with everyone earlier, but I'm going to say it anyway. Are you sure this is what you want? Saki told you she's given up, but you're not dumb, so you must know that's not true. Don't you care about Saki's feelings?
no, it's not like that.
Then what is it you want? Saki wants what's best for you. She's forcing herself to abandon your friendship because she thinks this will make you happy. Who are you doing this for? You're only thinking about protecting your own feelings. You're so scared someone will hurt you that you prefer to run away when things get difficult.
I don't know what to do.
You don't know? Really? You made Saki cry. You realize that, don't you?
What? I don't want to make her sad, but I don't want to be bullied again.
Right. So it's clear. You don't give a damn about us. Fine then. One last thing. You probably see this without me pointing it out, but you're making it pretty obvious that you think your current friends would turn on you given half a chance.
Shiho? I wasn't expecting to run into you at this time.
You finished your shift?
Yeah. What are you up to?
I went to the studio on my own. I wanted to clear my head and get some solo practice in.
Did something happen?
I talked to Hanami, but I messed up. I said some really mean things to her. Why am I so useless with things like this? I'm really hating myself right now. I can't even articulate why I went to talk to her in the first place. I'm such an idiot.
You know, that's something I really admire about you.
What, acting without thinking?
No, your determination. Once you make up your mind about something, you act. I think that's impressive. I could never be like that.
What are you talking about? Whenever I was getting into an argument with someone, you'd always stop me right away. You'd interrupt to stop me fighting even when you had no idea what it was about. Sometimes everyone would be confused as to why you were getting involved at all. It seems like nowadays you tend to overthink everything, and that's stopping you from being more decisive.
You think so?
That's how it looks to me.
Thanks, Shiho.
I should be thanking you. I feel better after talking with you. I'll see you tomorrow.
All this talk about Hanami in the past has really gotten Ichika thinking about how she could bring everyone together. After thinking for a bit, she realizes some people she could talk to about this. Miku and Luka. They tell her how the SEKAI is not only made from her feelings, but Hanami's feelings as well, and her wishes must manifest here too. This gives Ichika the best plan ever. The next day, Ichika finds Hanami and takes her to the SEKAI, and goes up to the rooftop with her.
Oh, so many stars. I don't think I've ever seen the night sky like this.
It was the first time for me too. Do you remember when we went to that park to watch that meteor shower? We used to play there all the time, but at night, it felt like a different place. Even just walking there was a bit like an adventure. Maybe that's why the stars seemed even brighter and more beautiful that night. We were talking about it the other day with Saki, and she mistook the Leonids for the Cancreids.
How could she? I told her so many times what that meteor shower was called.
At one point, she started coming up with her own original names for constellations.
Yes, she did. Then Shiho joined in with, doesn't that one look like a bass guitar?
There, we finally smiled.
Oh.
Hanami, I really want all four of us in this band, and I want to see you smile more often. I wish we could all laugh together again. Don't you want to still be friends with us?
I'm pathetic. It's like Shiho said. I feel sorry for myself. That's why I gave in to the pressure from my classmates. I didn't want to be disliked. It made me so scared, but I only ended up hurting those who cared about me the most. After all this, do you really want me back?
Hanami, that's what we all want, more than anything.
Hona!
Honami,
Saki and Shiho?
When did you get here?
だったら4人で見なくちゃ。ね
Miku, Luca, thank you.
Please forgive me. When my classmates started ignoring me, I was terrified, but I couldn't bring myself to tell you what was going on. I was so afraid it would happen again in high school, so I did everything I could not to upset the few people in my class who were nice to me. I acted as if you weren't my friends anymore, even though that hurt you. It all happened because I'm so spineless.
You're not. I should have apologized for not having been able to help you. I wasn't there for you when you were having a really difficult time.
How can you still care about me after I shunned everyone and hurt your feelings?
it's simple. You're our friend. I'm sorry about what I said earlier.
No, you were right. You opened my eyes to what I was doing to all of you. If you hadn't gotten so angry with me, I'd have just carried on, telling myself everything was alright. Thank you, Shiho.
Your eyes are so red from crying, guys.
I wasn't crying.
Hanami, join our band. We won't leave you alone ever again. We'll always be together.
Sure. Thank you, everyone.
At least we're a band of 4.
Honami, our band's no joke. You've got to be serious about practice.
Yikes, Shiho's already putting the pressure on.
What? I'm just making it clear that if we're doing this together, we've got to do it right.
What is it, Hanami?
I'm just so happy that I'll be in a band with you. I think this is what I wanted right from the start.
With everyone finding their true feelings, the untitled song gets transformed into Needle, a song about having regret for hurting someone they care deeply for, and not being able to communicate their needs and emotions effectively. With all this drama done, Hanami goes to tell her new friends about her old friends and how she wants to hang out with them again. And look at that, they're completely okay with that. After that, the gang meets up for the first time as a band, and they decide they need to come up with a name.
Maybe something to do with stars? That meteor shower in the Leo constellation is an important memory for all of us.
I like that. Shiho, I didn't know you had a sentimental streak.
Now I regret saying anything.
Didn't that meteor shower have a name?
I told you back then, Saki, it was the Leonids. Or maybe we go with the French name? It's, Les Leonides.
That's nice. Sounds kind of like Leonid.
Yeah, let's spell that part need to mean that everyone's needed.
You want it written like this?
Leonid. I think it's good.
Wait, I can make it better. How about Leonid?
What's the slash for?
It's a shooting star.
Having a shooting star in our name is a wonderful idea.
It's just a slash, but I guess I can kind of see it now.
Okay guys, we have a band name. Oh, and by the way, I wrote lyrics for a song Saki composed earlier.
You guys have already written a song? Nice.
That's amazing! Can I see the lyrics?
Maybe later? It's kind of embarrassing to have them read it in front of me, but I hope we can all perform it together.
Let's do that at Leonid's first practice session.
Yay!
Okay, so this is the beginning of Leonid.
With that proclamation, it brings an end to this story, but not the end of Leonid. Hana Sato Minori is a very unlucky girl. If she went on a picnic, it would rain. She got a new hat, would get blown away by the wind. She's wearing her favorite pair of shoes, they would get dirty. After countlessly trying to get rid of this bad luck, she would just give up. That was until she saw Kirita Haruka on TV, a pop idol around the same age as her. She saw how amazing Haruka was at singing and dancing, which got Minori thinking maybe she could get that good. But with her bad luck, what was the point? But then she heard Haruka say something that would change the trajectory of her life forever. Minori will now always try to make sure tomorrow is a better day. Fast forward a few years and Minori is now in high school and her bad luck hasn't gone anywhere, but her resolve hasn't either. While practicing for her audition, her phone flashes suddenly, and a new song called Untitled's on her phone. Upon clicking it, she is blinded by a white light. When Minori comes to, she finds herself at a concert. While trying to make sense of things, Hatsune Miku and Rin welcome her to her SEKAI, a world born from all of Minori's feelings.
この世界でね、私たちはみのりちゃんたちに本当の思いを見つけてもらいたいんだ。本当の思いを見つけると、その思いから歌が生まれるから。でも、みのりちゃんはもう本当の思いを見つけてるみたいだし、きっと他のみんなはみのりちゃんみたいな思いを忘れかけちゃっているから、私とみくちゃんも応援するからね。
Huh?
And as quickly as she came, she was ejected out of the SEKAI. When Minori came to, she figures that whole thing was just a weird dream and continues to practice her routine. The next day, Minori wakes up to find her application got rejected. Again. When Minori makes it to school, she gets told some shocking news. Haruka Kiritani has retired! This sends Minori down a spiral as Haruka is what kept her going all these years, and now she's just quit? But as Minori is despairing, she sees some people talking about a new student in the class next door, and this new student is none other than Haruka herself. Minori is about to explode from all this. At the very least, actually seeing Haruka at school has given Minori her resolve again. So the day passes on and Minori is back on the rooftop practicing her routine. But then suddenly, Haruka appears. Minori is so taken aback by this, she doesn't know what to do. Luckily, Haruka finds this endearing and introduces herself to Minori.
Is it alright if I read up here?
Yeah. Oh my god, I am breathing the same air as Haruka right now. I can't believe this. Stay calm, Minori. Don't embarrass yourself in front of her.
So what were you doing up here?
Me? I was just practicing some dance, but not for a club or anything. I actually want to be an idol, just like you, Haruka. Nailed it.
Oh.
Give it to me straight.
Sounds like people arguing.
Sounds like it's coming this way.
They might not notice us if we hide over here.
Both girls hide and their assumptions are correct as the two girls barge onto the roof, and they actually recognize who these two are. Hinomori Shizuku from Cheerful Days and Ari Momoai from QT. It appears Ari is confronting Shizuku about a rumor going around that she's thinking of transferring to groups due to her not getting along with her current group. Before Shizuku can answer, Minori and Haruka reveal themselves to them.
Haruka? You go here? Were you eavesdropping on us?
You're the one who assumed nobody was up here and started yelling loudly enough for everyone to hear.
Whatever, as long as you keep this to yourself. Don't go blabbing to all your friends either.
Of course. I won't tell anyone.
Good. Now scram.
It's pretty rude to just show up and tell the people who were here first to leave. Minori here was doing her dance practice before y'all interrupted her.
Practice? What for?
Well, I'm practicing to become an idol.
Seriously? What agency are you trying out for?
Moripro.
Moripro? That's a major agency. Do you know how lucky you have to be to even pass the first screening? How many times have you auditioned?
50?
And you think you have a shot at Moripro? You'd be better off giving up now. You don't seem like the idol type.
Ari, stop that. You shouldn't just deny someone's dream like that. You may have retired, but you're still an idol who's meant to give everyone hope.
I know that. Really, I do.
Even so, I'm still going to give it my all. Tomorrow will always be a better day. So in order to help everyone believe things can get better, I'm here to give everyone hope for a better tomorrow. Those are the words that guide me. And that's why I'm never giving up, no matter the odds. I'll keep giving more until I pass. More.
今の言葉、とっても素敵だね。
Is that Hatsune Miku?
それに、はるかちゃん、愛理ちゃん、しずくちゃんだよね。全員揃ってくれててよかった。よろしくね。
How does she know our names?
それは私が、みんなの思いでできた世界から来たからだよ。私ね、世界のステージで、りんちゃんと一緒にアイドルとしてライブしてるの。そろそろライブの時間だから行かなくちゃ。それじゃあ、世界で待ってるね。みんな、早く来てね。
Was that an ad or something?
It feels a little strange actually speaking with Miku like that.
Ari?
What is it now?
What Miku said made me think. Could you possibly help me practice?
Why on earth would I want to help you practice?
I know I don't have any right to ask you for help, but I thought if I could learn from such great idols like you, that it might help me get closer to my dream. I want to keep improving, so I can become an idol. Please.
I'll help.
What?
Minori, right? I'm usually busy with work, so I can only help on my days off. Is that alright?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much.
But Shizuku, what about your own work?
You're the one who said it, Ari. Idols should never ignore those who dream of becoming idols themselves.
Fine. give you little advice, but the moment you fail your next audition, I'm out. You got that?
Right. Thank you very much.
After agreeing to become coaches, they meet back up again the next day to actually begin training, and realize this girl has a long way to go before she has even a chance at getting past the initial screenings. After a long day of coaching, Ari is now walking home, and she overhears some people talking about her, saying how they remember her from all the variety shows she's been on, and not so much her time as an idol, which really seems to get to her. The next day, Shizuku finishes up on her dance lessons. Then she realizes she forgot her towel in the locker room. When she arrives, she overhears a conversation her bandmates are having about her, where they're complaining about the clear favoritism the agency is giving Shizuku because of her pretty face. Later that day, while coaching Minori, they were able to actually get her introductions down to an acceptable level, but then the topic of headshots come up.
Going for the natural look, huh? I like it. Don't forget to work on the real thing, though. You don't want the people doing the interview to think you look completely different in person.
That's true, but all the other girls are always so pretty though, both in their photos and in person.
You don't become an idol simply because of looks. You have to have heart as well. Having the desire to work hard for your fans. That is the most important thing an idol can have. At least that's what someone taught me a long time ago. Sorry for getting so serious all of a sudden. I think you're wonderful the way you are, Minori. All you have to do is believe in yourself.
Right. Thank you. Yeah, I'm exhausted. Ow!
Hey, are you alright?
Yeah, just twisted my ankle.
Let me see. It doesn't look swollen. You may want to put a cold compress on it just to be safe, though. Minori, I think it's great that you're working so hard, but just make sure you don't overdo it.
Right. Thanks, Haruka. She's being so kind and considerate of me.
みのりちゃん
Ah! Miku.
驚かせちゃってごめんね。本当は世界で待ってようと思ってたんだけど、みんな元気がないんじゃないかなって気になっちゃって、そしたらきっと元気になれると思うから後でプレイリストも見てみて。それじゃあ世界で待ってるから。
Seriously, what is with these new Miku ads?
That's strange. There seems to be a song called Untitled in my playlist now. Guess this is what Miku was talking about.
And when Minori plays the song, a flash of white transports everyone into the SEKAI. Miku and Rin greet them and seat them in some grade A VIP seats. While watching the show, everyone has wildly different reactions. Minori is amazed and solidifies even more that she wants to be an idol. Shizuku sees how in sync Miku and Rin are, how much trust they have for each other on stage. Ari envies Miku and Rin for putting on a show like this, and Haruka realizes she will never see a sight like this again. When the show's done, it seems to have had the opposite effect than what Miku and Rin were intending. Haruka, Ari, and Shizuku leave the SEKAI sad, leaving Minori behind. Rin reassures Minori that they were just reminiscing on being idols, and Miku reminds her that the SEKAI is here to help her and the others discover their true feelings, and to come visit whenever she feels down. The next day at school, Ari is reminiscing about the concert yesterday. Shizuku notices this and asks Ari if she still wants to be an idol, but Shizuku already knows the answer to that. Several years ago, when Ari was first starting out as an idol, she got invited to talk on a variety show. It went incredibly well, so much so that Ari would be asked to appear on more and more variety shows. But this came at a cost of doing less shows. Eventually, this got bad enough for Ari to ask her managers about it, but turns out, without Ari's permission, they decided to phase her out of the idol space and make her more of a variety show talent. This obviously pissed Ari off, and she left the agency for another that promised her that she would be an idol, but ultimately they made her a variety show talent as well. Nobody thought of Ari as an idol anymore. Shizuku tries to comfort Ari, but she snaps at her. This deeply hurts Shizuku and she runs off. You see, Shizuku didn't even want to be an idol in the first place. Years ago, her friend sent in an application to an agency without her knowledge and ended up getting accepted. She would eventually end up winning a Grand Prix, which caused so much pressure for Shizuku. But at that moment, she met Ari. Ari turned out to be the light in the darkness for Shizuku by telling her what she needed to hear at that moment, inspiring her. But now that her bandmates and even Ari are turning on her, she can't take it anymore. The next day, we see Ari desperately trying to reach Shizuku to apologize, but she's been ignoring all her texts and calls. Rin then appears and tells Ari some wisdom and to look ahead. Ari gets some resolve from this and goes up to meet with Minori. Ari tells Minori about the dark side of the idol world and asks her if she still wants to be an idol. Minori says yes, and with that, Ari tells Minori everything about her past as an idol, about the push to become a variety show host, switching agencies, managers telling her she isn't fit to be an idol, and giving up on her dreams. But seeing Minori work so hard day after day has made Ari realize something. It's perfectly fine to become an idol purely because you want to. So starting today, she'll be training alongside Minori to become an idol. After training with Minori that day, Ari asked if she's seen or heard from Shizuku, and it turns out one of her friends had actually seen her earlier today. But Minori asks why she's asking this. Ari then explains how she snapped at Shizuku and how she has kinda always been jealous of her because of the fact she's gotten everything Ari has ever wanted, which makes her feel like a terrible person. So she wants to apologize for all of that. They both agree and go search for her, but they both get some terrible news on their phones.
See you tomorrow, Yoshioka-sensei.
Move! Get out of the way!
Wait! Up! Ari!
What's going on, Minori?
Shizuku! She left Cheerful Days!
Shizuku!
Ari?
So the rumors that you were planning on leaving Cheerful Days were true? But why? There's absolutely no reason for you to quit being an idol. You're so good that anybody would be jealous. You're beautiful and you have an aura about you that makes people turn your way just by standing there.
Why do you have to say that? You were the one who taught me that having a heart was the most important thing. That an idol is someone who gives hope to their fans. That's why I've tried so hard all this time, to become that kind of idol. But now everyone attacks me, talking about my looks or how I was born to be an idol and don't have to work for it.
Did you quit because of me? Because of what I said?
Well, I've been thinking about quitting for a while now, ever since things started falling apart with the others, but it wasn't like that at first. We used to have fun competing and pushing each other to work harder. Everything changed once I started being in the center. It seemed like no matter how hard the others worked, I was the only one getting more job offers. They started to grow distant. I tried to smooth things over so we could keep working together, but there was only so much I could do. I don't even know if I still like being an idol.
It's my fault. I was supposed to give others hope, but instead I did the exact opposite. I stole your love of being an idol. Please, Shizuku, you're a true idol. You're not like me, Shizuku. I can't just stand by and watch this happen.
With that proclamation, Ari runs off to the Cheerful Days Theater, with the others following soon behind. When Ari arrives at the theater, Shizuku's former bandmates are quite confused why she's even here, especially for someone who ran away after arguing with their own agency.
That's right, I did run away. I couldn't stand not getting work as an idol, so I left. Even then, I couldn't get anyone to see me as a proper idol, so I kept running. Even though what I should have done was work even harder to become the kind of idol I wanted to be. But Shizuku is different. She's been working hard as the center all this time. She's been doing her best with all of you to give hope to your fans. That's why...
Why what? Shizuku is the one who decided to quit. What does that have to do with us? It's not like we told her to. Besides, even if she stops working as an idol, a modeling agency or something would pick her up in no time. It must be so nice being pretty. No matter how hard we work, she always gets picked over us.
I hate the fact I know exactly how you feel. That's right. I was just as jealous as you are. Jealous of Shizuku's looks and the fact that she was so special. I admit, I was upset that she was always chosen over me no matter how much effort I put in. But Shizuku never once took advantage of her position. She always put in the effort to live up to everyone's expectations of her. She continued trying to give hope to her fans. That's why she's so popular. That's why she was chosen as the lead. All we did was start sulking in our own jealousy. She's nothing like us. I'm sorry, Shizuku. I'm so horrible. All I ever did was hurt you by only thinking of myself, even though you always believed in what I said and kept working hard to give everyone hope.
Ari?
You got some nerve showing up here after messing up our schedules. So, you go crying to Ari and have her show up to complain in your place? You're such a pain in the ass. You said it. I'm finally glad to be rid of her.
Oh, you motherfuckers, if I got my hands on you, they wouldn't be able to recognize the corpses!
Ari, wait! You're an idol! You're supposed to give people hope!
You're right. An idol shouldn't do something like that.
Thank you for stopping her, Minori. And thank you too, Ari. What you just said now made me really happy. Probably the happiest I've been since becoming an idol. You really are my idol, Ari.
Shizuku.
Oh my god, get a room! Preferably one that isn't here.
Ari, could I ask you a favor?
Huh?
I want you to be an idol again.
What?
What you said back there really made me happy. I realized there really was someone who actually saw me the way I was. With just a few words, you managed to fill me with hope. The one who told me what I needed to hear to make it through tough times. The one who showed me the dream of becoming a true idol. That was all you, Ari. That's why I'm sure you can give even more hope to others. I want to see that Ari again.
I can't say no to you after all that. But you're going to join me, though. You did say I'm the one who showed you the dream of becoming a true idol, didn't you? If that's your dream, then you can't give up. I guess we should probably practice together first. How about we start tomorrow after school up on the roof?
That would be wonderful. But are you sure we won't be in the way, Minori?
Of course not. I'd love for you both to come.
Haruka, would you like to practice with us every once in a while? I'd love a few pointers.
Sorry, but I'll have to pass. I have no right to be an idol.
Huh?
No, right?
Nothing. I misspoke. It's nothing. Please, don't worry about me. I just want to be a regular student. But good luck, you three. I'll be cheering for you.
Haruka, wait!
With Haruka leaving the girls, what she said left them all very concerned about her well-being. The next day, they all tried to get their training in, but they're still thinking about what Haruka said. They would soon learn why, as one of Haruka's former bandmates, Mai, finds the group while searching for Haruka herself to apologize to her. A few years ago, Mai joined Asurun and was quite excited as she was a big fan, much like Minori. For a while, things were going great, but during her third year, she entered a slump. Mai couldn't get choreography down, messed up a lot during shows, and was just becoming a general burden from her point of view. Haruka tried to comfort and reassure her during practice, telling her her iconic phrase, "Tomorrow will always be a better day." That did give Mai the motivation she needed, but she ended up practicing too much and too hard and injured her vocal cords, meaning she couldn't be an idol anymore. Mai was so distraught and mad at that moment, she lashed out at Haruka and told her this was all her fault, and she took her dream of being an idol. And when she saw that she retired from idol work, she knew it was probably her lashing out that caused that. After hearing the story, the girls decide to set up a meetup between Mai and Haruka, before she can apologize. Later that day, they do just that, and each girl apologizes to the other. Mai apologizes for lashing out, and Haruka apologizes for pushing her so hard, but reassures her that she wasn't the reason for her quitting. Haruka just really wanted to be a normal student. Mai does not believe the last part, but doesn't push the topic and says her goodbyes. The rest of the girls, however, do push, and Haruka does admit she did lie there, only because if she did tell Mai that she was the reason, it would haunt her forever. And she doesn't have anything left to give, as she can't even get on stage anymore. Turns out Mai's words deeply affected Haruka, so much so she physically can't get on stage anymore due to a mental block. She tried everything in her power to overcome this block, but no matter what she did, nothing worked. So she just gave up on being an idol. Haruka leaves and everyone is sad now. At home, Minori is thinking of a way she can try to help Haruka. Haruka has been giving her hope for so long now, she wants to repay that back to her, to give her hope, and then she remembers the SEKAI exists. Minori travels to the SEKAI and begins planning on a way to get Haruka out of the slump.
I wonder if there's anything we can do for her. I know it's not her place to second guess a decision she struggled so hard to make, but still.
You're right. As fellow ex-idols, maybe there's something we can do for her, although I don't know what that might be.
Guys!
Minori? Why are you so out of breath?
I just read a 10-kilometer before coming here. Trying to build up stamina for my show.
Huh?
Figured the best way to cheer Haruka up was to show her something she's been missing for a long time. Even if there's a chance that this will help her move forward, I want her to see that view once more. And if one show isn't enough to restore Haruka's faith, then I'll keep putting on shows until she's able to move on. I'm still thinking of a way to get her to come with me to the stage, but until I can, Haruka and I are both stuck in the present.
So in other words, you don't have a plan at all. But you've always been like that, haven't you? You're so rash and unreasonable.
You say that, but you've already decided to help, haven't you?
I guess so. I can't really blame her for something like this after what I did at your agency. Minori, would you let us do this show with you? We can't very well call ourselves idols if we don't cheer on someone with as much tenacity as you.
Thank you so much, Momoi, Hinamori.
With that, they all travel to the SEKAI and get to work on making a show that will cheer Haruka up. After some time, they get the show finalized and bring Haruka into the SEKAI. With everything now set in place, the show starts. Everything is going just as planned, with the blue glow sticks, everyone putting their all, and Haruka enjoying the show. But there's still one more piece left to do.
Thank you so much. Hey, Haruka, would you join us on stage? The view from up here is beautiful. We worked really hard because we wanted you to see this view. We thought seeing it from the stage once more would help you move forward again.
I'm sorry, but I can't. My legs are shaking just from standing near the stage.
In that case, grab my hand.
What?
Haruka, you've given me so much. I started dancing because I wanted to be just like you. I was never any good at sports, but this was fun. Before I realized it, I'd fallen in love with dancing. I even made a lot of friends by going to see your shows. I don't see them very often because of how far away they live, but we still keep in touch. And the first time you waved at me during one of your shows, I was so happy that I started crying. It was the first time I realized having feelings for someone else could make you so happy. And Haruka, you gave me my dream of becoming an idol. This is about all I can do for you, but I want you to see this view, to remember what it's like to look forward. I want you to believe again that tomorrow will be a better day.
Minori, I want to get on stage. I want to see that view once more. I'm actually on stage, but I'm still shaking so badly I can't stand.
If that's the case, we'll support you as many times as it takes. That's what we're here for. Now give me an arm, I will take the other one.
There you go. If you can't do something alone, all you need is some help. Come on, Haruka. Stop staring down at your feet already. Turn around and look up.
It's so beautiful.
This is all the light of the hope you've given people. The reason I strive to be an idol. Being able to perform here on stage with the others. It's all thanks to the hope you've given me, Haruka. If it hadn't been for you, I would have never experienced this view. All these lights represent the number of times you've given me hope. So I want to tell you over and over again, I'm really, truly grateful for all the hope you've given me.
I gave you hope? I see. So it really did reach you.
With all the true feelings found, a new song is birthed from them, and the untitled track is now called Newly Edgy Idols, a song celebrating the idol spirit. After all this, the gang is back on the rooftop, and when Minori sees she's been rejected by Mori Pro, Haruka suggests they all just become an idol team together. Everyone's on board with the idea, they just need to come up with a name.
How about delivering hope for tomorrow?
I guess it does have a certain idol-like ring to it, but it's just a bit too literal.
Well, we could use the English word tomorrow, and maybe we could use the word fight to show our determination.
We don't want it to sound like we're getting ready to battle.
I kind of like Minori's habit of saying more and more. Even if things don't go your way, you keep working more and more. It really conveys your unwillingness to give up.
More and more? Well, how about more and more fight?
What's with you and the word fight? You think this is a martial arts club?
What do you think about more jump?
More jump?
Yeah, it kind of makes it sound like we're reaching up toward our dream of becoming idols.
You're right. Though we've had our fair share of difficulties along the way, we even gave up on being idols.
I like it. This time, we're going to clear all the hurdles in our way, together.
I like it too. That settles it, then. From this moment on, we are more jump.
With that proclamation, it brings an end to this story, but not the end of more jump. Years ago, there was a legendary music event called Rad Weekend. At this event, a young Shirahashi-an would watch and not only be inspired to be a musician, but also to surpass this event one day. Every day from that point on, she would hone her skill to have a chance at surpassing this event. One day after a street performance, An's phone starts glowing. When she goes to investigate, she's consumed by a bright light and finds herself in a cafe. She goes up to the only other person here and asks where she is. But but apparently she was also just transported here. Then out of nowhere, Miku, Len, and Meko greet them.
世界本当の思いを見
Huh?
That was a weird dream.
Meet Azusawa Kahone. She's just your average high school girl. Today, her mother asked her to pick up a CD at the store. Unfortunately, they were out of stock, but the clerk said they have an alley shop that should still have some copies available. And lo and behold, they did. But since Kahone went down an unfamiliar street, she's now lost and her phone is dead. While wandering aimlessly, Kahone stumbles across a bar called Weekend Garage. Thinking she could find someone to ask for directions inside, she heads in. When she gets inside, she goes to ask one of the employees. But that employee suddenly jumps on the stage they have in the back and starts performing a song. Kahone has never heard anything so amazing in her life. And when the employee is done singing, she notices Kahone and tries to get her a table. But Kahone is so awestruck and nervous, she runs out of the cafe. Kahone somehow found her way back home and can't get that song out of her head. She spends the rest of the night trying to find the song, and during her search, Hatsune Miku appears out of her phone as some sort of hologram to tell her to visit the SEKAI, and then leaves. Before Kahone can question what just happened, she finds the song the employee was singing. But the chorus and rhythm are all different. Wanting to hear the version the employee sang again, she goes back to Weekend Garage the next day to find her.
Welcome.
I...
Oh, aren't you that girl who was in here watching the other day?
Huh?
I remember because it's not often we get other girls my age in here. I'm happy you decided to come back. Hey, Dad! That cute girl who came in to check us out last week is back!
Is that so? Welcome.
Welcome to Weekend Garage.
They get Kahone seated and grab her a drink. The employee's father then leaves to get some more coffee beans for the bar.
You're not nervous, are you?
Huh? Oh, sorry.
Relax. There's no reason to be so uptight. Judging from your uniform, I take it you go to Miyu Masuzaka. We're probably about the same age too.
The same age? I'm a freshman.
I knew it. I'm a first-year student at Kamiyama High School.
You're a first-year student too? I was sure you were older than me.
My name's An Shiraishi. Nice to meet you.
Oh, I'm Kohane Asusawa. It's nice to meet you, Miss Shiraishi.
Call me An. We're the same age after all. You know, I'm really glad you came back, Kohane. This place really doesn't get many female customers. It's mostly guys who look up to my dad.
That was your dad who just left, right? I understand he's the owner and a pretty famous musician.
That's right. You know your stuff.
Oh, I just looked it up online. It said he used to be active in the music scene here on Vivid Street.
Yeah, he was for a long time, but he retired about 2 years ago and opened this place. So a lot of his old friends and fans come by.
Is that who those people were that you were singing with before?
Yep, they're musicians who are big fans of my dad. They ask me to sing with them at events all the time.
Events? Do you sing at a lot of events then?
Yep, sure do. There are a lot of clubs around here, so it's pretty easy to find gigs.
That explains why you seem so used to it. You looked so cool when I saw you last time.
Last time? Oh, you mean when you stopped by before?
Yeah, you were so good. Actually, I was hoping to hear you again.
Oh, so that's why you came back. Well, in that case, how about I sing a song?
Huh?
Oh, it's just me this time, so it won't be quite the same as the mic relay, but here goes.
What? What should I do? My body's not ready. This really is completely different than the video. My heart's racing again.
Phew. What did you...
You were so cool. Thank you, An. Especially the part where you were freestyling. The part that goes... Then there was that other part where you were like... And the way you ended it.
Hey, Kahane, can you sing?
What?
Why don't you try singing real quick? Like you did just now. It sounds like you've got the lyrics memorized too. Here's the mic.
Wait, I can't sing in such a public place.
Please, I really want to hear you sing. Don't worry, I'm sure you'll be great, Kahane.
If it's just a little, then alright. But promise you won't laugh, alright?
I knew it! Her rhythm's a little off, and she's not quite singing from the heart, but her voice! It's gentle, but it also carries in just the right way. It makes me want to sing with her.
That felt great.
I found you. I finally found you! Kahane, let's team up. Let's sweep the world off its feet with our performances.
Team up? As in you and me?
Yeah. You felt how great it was to sing together just now, didn't you?
Well, I suppose so, but I don't think someone like me is really good enough to team up with someone like you.
Kahane, don't ever put yourself down, alright? I've been going to events and listening to people sing ever since I was little. I've heard a lot of really talented people, but singing with you today was the most exhilarated I've ever felt. I want to try singing more songs with you, Kahane.
You felt exhilarated listening to me sing? I get really nervous when I'm in front of people. I feel like I'd just be an inconvenience to you. I wonder if I can change, though. Is it really okay for me to try?
Yeah, let's do it. And you're welcome to be as much as an inconvenience as you'd like.
What?
A team is supposed to cooperate and support each other. I'll make sure to help you when you need it as long as you promise to do the same for me. My dad had someone like that. It was another musician he met here in town. He says they always had each other's backs, getting into fights and singing together. Just before my dad retired, they put on an event called Rad Weekend.
Rad Weekend?
Yeah, this area has always had a lot of artists, and they put on events all the time. But my dad and his friend organized this event called Rad Weekend and gathered a bunch of the best ones who really knew how to get a crowd going. It was a mix of all sort of genres, but everyone shared an absolute love of music. It was the coolest event ever. I told my dad that I wanted to organize an event just like his. I still remember his response.
This event was only possible because of all the people I'd met in this town who love music so much. There's no way I could have done this on my own.
It made me want to start meeting those kinds of people. My dream is to organize the greatest event in history with them.
Anna's so cool. She's already found a dream and is working hard to make it happen. She's so different from me.
Sorry, I got a little carried away there. Don't feel like you have to answer right away, but if you'd like to give it a shot, just let me—
I want to try.
What?
I want to try doing an event like that. I want to try teaming up with you.
Really? You'll sing with me?
I'm, not sure how much I can actually do, but I'll try my best.
Great! Thanks, Kahane! Oh, looks like we've got another customer. I'll be right back. Welcome— Oh, hey, Akito, Toya!
Hey there, Shirashi. Thought we'd stop in again.
Welcome. Thanks for always coming by.
We'll have the usual. I don't think I've seen you around here before. The name's Akito Shinonome. Nice to meet you. This here is my buddy Toya Aoyagi.
It's very nice to meet you. My name is Kohane Asuzawa.
No need to be so formal.
These two are freshmen with me at Kameyama High School. They're also big fans of my dad's. They call themselves Bad Dogs. They're in the area a lot doing shows, so they like to stop by before they start or after they're done.
We've known Shiraishi and I've been coming here since junior high.
Junior high? You mean you've been putting on shows since you were in junior high school? That's amazing.
Just playing in shows isn't a big deal. Anybody can do it. Speaking of, you managed to find someone to sing with yet, Shiraishi? If you're really serious about surpassing Rad Weekend, don't you think it's about time you teamed up with someone?
You've got great timing. As a matter of fact, I just found someone a few minutes ago.
A few minutes ago?
Are you talking about her?
That's right. Kahane is my new partner. I knew as soon as we sang together today.
Coming from you, that must mean she's quite the singer. Where have you performed before, Azusawa?
Huh? Oh, I've never actually performed before. I've only ever really sang during music class.
What?
No experience performing and you can still sing that well? That's amazing, Kahane.
Huh.
I'm sure you'll get used to singing in front of people in no time. Once you do, I bet you'll be even better than Akito and Toya.
In that case, I've got an idea. How would you two like to be part of an upcoming event?
An event?
Yeah. Now that you're a group, why not? We should perform together as artists who have a shared vision. There's an event we're part of next month that had one of their performers back out, so they've got an empty slot to fill. It's at a live house called Red. What do you think?
Red, huh? It's kind of on the small side, so it might be good for a first performance. What do you think, Kahane? It's a good opportunity, and I can't wait for people to hear us sing.
But next month is so soon. Will I be alright?
You'll be fine. If it's next month, we'll have plenty of time to practice. Besides, I'll be right there with you.
I think I can handle that.
It's settled then. I'll let them know you'll be there.
Okay. Thanks for the invite, Akito.
Don't mention it. This is our first time performing at the same event. I'm looking forward to it.
Akito and Toya leave, and Toya asks why Akito decided to invite them so suddenly. Akito then reveals this is more or less a test for An and Kahone. To have the gall to suggest they could even surpass Rad Weekend when one of them has never performed before It's not just a thing you can say so half-heartedly. Back at the bar, Ann and Kahone are trying to find a song to perform when they both stumble across the untitled track. Curious, they play it and then are transported to some kind of street. They wander around for a bit until they find a cafe nearby. They go in and are met with Miku and Miku. They explain that this is a SEKAI and how it was made from the feelings of Ann and Kahone. While explaining, Len enters the cafe and is surprised to see Ann and Kahone here. Not because they're here, but because the SEKAI was made from the feelings of 4 people, so there should be 2 more here. Ann and Kahone don't dwell on it for too long, as they end up leaving soon after to get some rest. The next few weeks, both groups train their asses off to prepare for this upcoming event. After one of Bad Dog's performances, some guy is talking shit about Ann. The guy then finds out Akito and Toya will be going to the same event as her in a few days, which gives him an idea. Time moves on and it's now the day of the event. Each team wishes the other good luck and Ann and Kahone head to the green room, while Toya pulls Akito to the side to have a little chat.
Akito, I feel like those two are just as serious about surpassing that event as we are.
Where'd this come from?
Why don't we wait until after hearing them sing before passing judgment? There's no hurry.
Fine, whatever. If you really insist on it, then I'll listen to them seriously just this once.
Thanks, Akito.
Hey, Akito, Toya, make sure you give those two a good thrashing tonight.
Oh, it's you. That'll all depend on how they perform tonight. Anyway, I'll see you inside.
There'll be no more riding her father's coattails after going up against the Bad Dogs. I can't wait to see her get shown up in front of an audience. Alright, time to get ready to lend my support.
The event starts up and eventually we get Ann and Kahone's segment, and they're actually doing really good. But then, disaster strikes. The speakers shut down, leaving Ann and Kahone drowning with no support. Fortunately, Ann knows how to swim and starts singing without the music, and is able to keep the vibe going. But Kahone just can't bring herself to sing in the situation. After their segment ends, Kahone apologizes profusely, but Ann reassures her that this isn't her fault. But during this, Ann and Kahone overhear 2 people arguing in the back alley, and they go to investigate.
What do you think you're doing?
What's the big deal? You guys were no fans of those two either.
Don't you dare lump us in with your pathetic jealousy. You screwed up the whole event.
Calm down.
Akito, you're the one who said you were going to crush them. The only reason I cut the power was to help you.
What?
You cut the power?
Crap.
Don't tell me you were the ones behind this.
Wait, Shirashi, Akito wouldn't—
That's right. It was me. I was planning to crush you.
Akito?
What's your problem? You go out of your way to invite us just to pull something like this?
I refuse to let anyone without the proper resolve to mouth off about surpassing Rad Weekend. And if this little girl here gets tripped up and can't sing after something as small as this, that just proves she doesn't have what it takes.
Of course she'd get thrown off if something like this happened at her very first event. Anybody would.
Her first event? Anybody? Is that your only excuse? That's not what went through your head in there, is it, Shirashi? The fact that you refused to back down was because you have the resolve. If you're really serious about surpassing that night, I'm willing to bet you refuse to let something as trivial as this trip you up.
Well...
But the shrimp here doesn't feel the same. That's why she froze up. Am I wrong?
Yes, you are. Kahane is serious. She's been practicing like crazy for this event.
And you're saying practicing hard is the same thing as having resolve? Don't make me laugh. We're absolutely serious. We're going to surpass Rad Weekend. Can you say the same thing, Shrimp?
Akito!
See? That's what I thought. The music world isn't a place you can just come waltzing into like you're on some field trip. If this is enough to break you, then you don't belong here.
Akito, that's enough!
You jerk. Kahane, wait! I've seriously misjudged you.
Akito, why didn't you tell them the truth? You didn't—
I'm the reason he did it, and I hate excuses.
But still, are you really okay with this?
Come on, Toya. We're up soon. Let's go give him a show.
Kahone is crying in her bed, sad about all the things Akito said about her. While crying, Kahone scrolls through her phone and then remembers the SEKAI and goes to Miku and friends for help. They end up helping her realize her true feelings of singing with On to surpass Rad Weekend. With this, Kahone is all cheered up, and the next day, Kahone goes to see On with a new style, and tells her about the revelation she had with Miku and friends. During this, Akito and Toya walk into the bar.
Azusawa? You changed your hair.
Huh? You the same shrimp from yesterday? You still hanging around here? I thought I made myself clear. This isn't the place for some half-hearted—
I don't do anything half-hearted.
What?
We've decided to perform again.
Excuse me?
Where are you guys singing next? I was just thinking we should crash your event.
Do you even realize what you're saying right now? There's nothing I hate more than those with a weak resolve. If you're really planning on performing at the same event as us again, we will crush you once and for all. No tricks this time.
We have the resolve. I may not know much about Rad Weekend or understand the feelings of those that sang there, but even so, I want to organize a great event with An that will give everyone the best experience of their lives, so I won't run away anymore.
Next Saturday. We're singing at Mossy Stone. There should be some slots open.
Great, then that's where we'll do this. Fair and square this time.
It's your funeral. Let's get out of here, Toya. No reason to stick around if Ken isn't here.
Once more, the two groups practice for yet another event. But during this lead up, Toya is realizing that he hasn't been putting his all into his and Akito's performances. The only reason he started doing rap music with Akito was to rebel against his father. All this talk about half-heartedness has really made Toya realize everyone around him has the resolve and has been putting everything on the line to chase their dreams. But him. And the event proves just that, as Akito and Toya see An and Kahone perform this time. And they're amazing. After the event's done, they go talk to each other.
Well, you finally convinced about Kahane's ability?
Why do you sound so proud of yourself? I admit, it looks like you may have the resolve after all. So let me ask you this. Are you two actually serious about surpassing Rad Weekend?
Of course.
Yeah.
I see. Your song was great. Sorry about messing things up before.
Huh? Thank you.
Oh, that was easier than I expected. Could it be that you're actually more honest than I thought?
Oh, shut up. If that's all, then get out of here already.
Yeah. Oh, but before we go, you two weren't half bad yourselves. Good job, Akito. Toya.
Now hold on a minute.
Come on, Kahane. Let's go get changed.
Sure.
So full of themselves. Hey Toya, we're gonna need to change up the set list for the next event. We're gonna put on a performance that'll make them regret ever messing with us.
Akito,
Toya? What's wrong?
I can't perform with you anymore.
What are you talking about? You know you aren't any good with jokes, so stop messing around. Did your old man say something again?
This is my own decision. Our kind of music doesn't mean anything. It's just a bunch of kids making some noise.
Are you being serious right now?
You're the one who said I wasn't any good at making jokes.
That's going too far. Our music has no meaning. Try saying that again. I won't take this, not even from you, Toya. What are you gonna do if you quit anyway? Go crawling back and let your dad control you again after saying how much you hated things? How is that any more meaningful?
Let go of me.
Get back here. This conversation isn't over, Toya.
Don't you think it's about time you grew up and stopped chasing after some tiny event that no one's even heard of outside of this town?
Why, you... Fine then! Leave! And never show your face around here again!
Toya leaves and Akito starts to wander the streets, reminiscing when he first met Toya and formed Bad Dogs. Back to An and Kahone, they just arrived in the SEKAI to tell Miku and friends about their show. The conversation leads to An and Kahone learning about how their feelings give birth to songs, and how Akito and Toya are the other two a part of this SEKAI, which surprises both of them. After that revelation, the two leave the SEKAI and find out Akito and Toya got into a fight. An doesn't think too much of it and believes the two will patch things up, but as the days go on, Akito keeps doing solo shows and looks very depressed. One day while at a CD store waiting for An, Kahone actually spots Toya and asks what exactly happened between the two. But he doesn't really answer and leaves. An arrives and Kahone tells her exactly what just happened. But while doing that, the dumbass from earlier goes up to the two and apologizes to them and tells them how it was all his idea to cut the power and Akito and Toya had nothing to do with it and didn't even know of it. This revelation gives Kahone another idea on how to find out what happened between Akito and Toya. At school, Toya is helping the librarian, but An calls him outside for a moment. Turns out An was able to pull a few strings and was able to sneak Kahone into school to talk to Toya. Kahone tries asking again about him and Akito, but even after revealing they know the two weren't behind the power being cut, Toya tells them nothing and goes back to work. Later that night after a show, Akito is looking through his phone to figure out what he wants to perform tomorrow, but stumbles across Untitled, and when he tries to play it, he's taken to the SEKAI where he meets Len, Miko, and Miku. Through a metaphor through oolong tea, Akito realizes Toya isn't being true to himself. As he realizes this, he gets a call from Ken, where he finds out Toya is at Weekend Garage right now. Akito runs off to catch him in time.
Sorry for the wait. Toya, here's your usual blend.
Oh, but Ken, today
You came to say goodbye, yeah? This one's on me. Consider it a thank you for all the times you've come in before.
Thank you very much.
Maybe we should step out for a bit, Kahane. Looks like he's got something important to talk about.
But he said he came to say goodbye. Does that mean...
Would you stay?
What?
You two are part of the reason I was finally able to come to a decision. And besides, I'd feel bad leaving with Azusawa still worried about me. Just promise you won't tell Akito. I don't want him to be disappointed in me.
Okay.
Ken, you've probably already heard from Akito, but I decided to quit singing as a member of Bad Dogs. Though for me and my music, Bad Dogs was everything. So, that's why today will be my last time coming here.
I see. We'll miss you around here. And one less person for Akito to complain to means my job will get that much harder. I'm just kidding.
Ken, please take care of Akito for me. He's really serious about surpassing you and Rad Weekend. I know I don't really have any right to ask this of you, though.
Don't worry. You can count on me.
Thank you very much.
Akito can be pretty stubborn, eh? Nothing can break him. But that's what makes him so interesting. In that regard, though, I think you two are a lot alike.
I'm afraid you're wrong. I'm not like Akito. The only reason I'm here is because I was running away. Every day since I was little, I would be forced to practice violin and piano. I wouldn't be allowed to play with other kids because of practice, and would usually practice until I physically couldn't anymore. Before I realized it, I started hating everything about music. And to get back at my dad, I quit playing both piano and the violin. To be honest, I would have been fine with anything, as long as he was against it. The only reason I started playing non-classical music here was because I thought it would be the best way to make him angry. It was childish of me, but Akito, he taught me all about this town and how to enjoy music again. He even shared his dream with me. Akito was my first true friend. But he's always got his sights set straight ahead. If I stay with him, I'll just keep him from realizing his dream. Even when I'm right next to him, I just can't see the same thing he does. The only reason I stuck with him for long is because I was too scared to face the truth. In the end, I had the weakest resolve of anyone. I've been thinking about it for a while now. Having someone like me beside him will only get in his way. What Akito really needs are people like you, Shirashi, Azusawa. People who are serious about chasing their dream of surpassing Red Weekend.
What? Us?
You two are the same as him. You're able to keep moving forward because you believe in the path you chose. Your singing showed me that. It also made me realize I don't have the same resolve. That's why I finally made the decision to stop acting like a child and relying on Akito. Thank you for everything.
Toya, can you do one more thing before you leave?
Okay.
It seems there's still someone here who hasn't accepted your decision. Would you mind talking to them?
Huh? Akito?
I think this is my cue to make myself scarce. Would you keep an eye on things?
What? Dad?
Akito, you were listening?
Yeah, I asked Ken to leave his phone on.
I see. I bet you're disappointed that the person who had the weakest resolve ended up being the one right next to you this whole time. I was never able to be as dedicated as you were about chasing your dream.
You know, I've never seen anyone so crazy that they can practice from morning till night the way you do.
I thought maybe it'd help me be worthy of standing on stage with you. The only skills I have are those I learned from playing classical music, and even that was too much for me, so I ran away. Practicing like that was the only way for someone like me to have any chance of getting up on stage with someone as serious about their singing as you.
You're so serious it's stupid.
It's true that I felt like I could be my real self whenever I was singing with you, and I'm thankful for that, but that's all the more reason I can't stay here. There's nothing more I can do to help you fulfill your dream.
Is that really how you feel?
What?
I don't care what your reasons for starting were, or that you're running away from classical music. All that matters is what you really want to do now. You remember right after we formed Bad Dogs? when the guy told us we had spirit but no skill. I remember getting really upset, but you never said a thing. Friends would normally try to cheer each other up in that sort of situation, but you didn't say a word. You just kept practicing with me. The look on your face said we're better than this. We'll show them what we can really do. I've only made it this far because you were with me. You love music so much that it's ridiculous. I know more than anyone how serious you are. The only reason I was able to chase my dream of surpassing Rad Weekend was because you were there to listen to me. I don't waver because I know you believe in me.
But, Akito,
Shut up with the excuses already! Why can't you get it through your thick skull? I have no intention of teaming up with anybody but you. What do your true feelings tell you right now? Do you really not want to do this with me anymore? Is there no part of you that wants to get up on that stage with me? If there is, then somewhere in there, you must have the same dream of surpassing Rad Weekend that I have.
Of course I want to. You have no idea how many times I thought about just focusing on chasing your dream with you.
Toya, so you finally admit it. If that's what you want, then just do it.
But...
Nope, that's enough out of you. Stop overthinking every little thing. I want to work with you, and you want to work with me. All that's left is to realize our dream together. Isn't that enough?
Are you really okay with that? Is it really okay for someone with such weak resolve to stand up there with you?
Your resolve isn't weak. You may think it is, but to me, you're the best singing partner a guy could ask for.
Akito, if you want to do it, then just go for it. I get it now. So the answer really was that simple all along.
You know, for someone who's so good at school, you sure are stupid. Oh well, starting tomorrow, we're gonna be making up for lost time, partner. Then we'll organize an event that'll surpass Rad Weekend. Got it?
Yeah.
Now that that's all worked out, can I take your order?
What? How long have you two been standing there? Have you been listening the entire time?
You're the ones who ignored us and just kept talking. Besides, you were on such a roll that we didn't want to interrupt you. I'm happy for you two.
Yeah, Aoyagi, this means you'll be able to sing with Shinanomi again.
Azusawa, Shiraishi, sorry for making you two worry about me. I've made up my mind. I'm going to help Akito surpass Rad Weekend.
Hey now, we're the ones who are going to surpass Rad Weekend. Don't go getting ahead of yourselves.
With everyone finally discovering their true feelings, all of their phones start to light up and they're all transported into the SEKAI, where the gang finds out their true feelings have given birth to a new song called Ready Steady, a song all about pursuing your dreams with all your heart. They perform the song together, and when they all get back to the real world, they realize they're really good together and decide to team up. But first, they need to come up with a name.
I was thinking, since we're the Vivids named after the street, how about we just combine the two together, so it'll be Vivid Bad?
Could you have put any less thought into it?
If you don't like it, why don't you come up with something?
Since we're all singing together, it might be an idea to use something like crew or team in the name.
Oh, I like it. What about quad, since there are 4 of us?
Yeah, that could work. Or maybe...
What about squad? It's another word for a group or a troop.
It could also mean a kind of stylish gang, yeah?
Vivid Bad Squad, then? I like it.
All right, Kahane. I knew I could count on you.
I don't know about that. I'm the one who's always relying on you. But I'll keep working hard to make sure one day you all can.
Kahane, remember, I'm always here for you. You're the greatest.
Ah! Anne, I can't breathe!
Always so carefree, aren't they?
Being able to express yourself honestly is a good thing, though.
Look who's talking.
And so that brings an end to this story, but not the end of Vivid Bad Squad. Tenma Tsukasa was always trying to cheer up his sister Saki. This is because Saki was always sick due to the illness. But since Tsukasa was a child, there was very little he could do. That was until one day their parents brought the two to see a show. Watching this, Tsukasa could see the joy radiating from his sister while watching. And it wasn't just his sister smiling, it was his family and everyone else around him too. All from just watching this show. From that moment, Tsukasa knew exactly how he could cheer up his sister. Cut to the present, and Tsukasa is getting ready for his first audition to finally hit stardom on stage. On top of that, Saki has finally gotten better from the illness.
and is going to high school. While happy for her brother, she does question why he wanted to be a star in the first place. And Tsukasa can't actually remember what started himself on this path, but gaslights himself into believing because, quote,
"It'd be a terrible tragedy to let my awesome stage talent go to waste."
he may be a dumbass. Before he could linger on the question any longer, Tsukasa gets a notification on his phone and discovers a weird song called Untitled is now there. When he goes to click on it, he's sucked right into the SEKAI and is greeted by Hatsune Miku and Kaito. They both tell him about how this world is made from his feelings, and how it will give birth to a song, but this makes no sense to Tsukasa, and he goes to correct the two.
"My true feelings have always been to become the world's top star."
それはそうなんだけど。
司くんはどうしてスターになろうと思ったか覚えているか？
What made me? Because, when I become the world's top star, I'll be able to use my talent to put on the world's best show. And then when people come to see my show,
みんなが
all eyes will be drawn on the brightest star there. Me. Once they see me, they'll certainly cry tears of joy.
やっぱり忘れちゃってるみたいだね。
司くん、
What is it? What have I done to deserve those pitiful stares?
ごめん。たとえ時間がかかっても、司くんが本当の思いを見つけてくれたら嬉しいな。でも、この世界に来て、もし懐かしいって思ったなら、その気持ちは、どうか忘れないでほしい。
Nostalgic? Why would I find it nostalgic?
今度はみんなで世界に来てね。司くん、一緒に歌って。楽しいショーにしよう。みんなもきっと司くんと同じ思いを持ってるから。
Who's this everyone else you're talking about? Why am I getting more questions than answers?
きっとすぐ会えるよ。本当の思いを見つけたいって思っていれば。
それじゃあ司くん、バイバーイ。
Tsukasa is kicked out of the SEKAI and wakes on his bed. He figures it was all some bizarre dream, and then he realizes he's going to be late for his audition if he doesn't head to the park now. When he gets there, he's directed to the audition building and is prepared to show off the best audition the world has ever seen.
We'll start on the right side. Please begin with a brief introduction. My first name is written with the character for ruling, and the second with the character for Pegasus. I am Tsukasa Tenma, the soaring Pegasus born to rule the showbiz world.
Allow me to take my first steps to stardom on one of your stages, and I shall repay you with a
plethora of incredible shows the crowds will fall in love with. I am not merely a star. I am a supernova. I am the miracle bringer. And now I am at your service. Thank you. Next, please. My introduction left him speechless. I'm guaranteed to pass this interview with flying colors.
Somehow that audition got him a job, and Tsukasa now has his first gig. But when he gets to the park, he's brought to the oldest and most run-down stage he has ever seen. But before he could ask any questions to the staff member about this, a girl falls out from the sky in front of them.
Welcome to the Wonder Stage, a place filled with lots of smiles. All together now. 1, 2, Wonderhoy!
Huh?
Wonderhoy!
Can you stop now?
Wonderhoy!
Okay, I'll do it. Wonderhoy, Wonderhoy, yahoy! Are you satisfied now? Who are you anyway? Where did you drop from?
From up there.
Where? Are you out of your mind? That's like 2 stories high.
Yup, I wanted to give you a surprise welcome, Tsukasa.
Well, it was a surprise, that's for certain. But how do you know my name?
Of course I know your name. I invited you here, Tsukasa.
What?
I'm Emma Otori. Welcome to the fantastic Wonder Stage, a place filled with lots of smiles. Let's put on incredible shows together, Tsukasa.
Huh? What? What the heck is going on?
Turns out Tsukasa didn't actually pass the audition, but Emu was able to pull a few strings to get Tsukasa to work with her at the Wonder Stage. This is because the stage was due to be demolished, and after hearing Tsukasa say,
and I shall repay you with a
plethora of incredible shows the crowds will fall in love with,
Emu had to have him perform on this stage. Unfortunately, Tsukasa isn't having any of that and goes to resign. But as he's trying to find HR's number, he comes across Untitled in his phone again. And with Emu looking over his shoulder, she clicks on it and they're both transported in the SEKAI. It appears though Tsukasa and Emu were transported to different areas of the SEKAI. While wondering about, Tsukasa finds a Miku mascot running around, but it turns out inside of the costume is the actual Hatsune Miku, and she takes Tsukasa inside the circus tent in the SEKAI. Inside, Emu and Kaito are preparing a show. They take notice of Tsukasa and Miku, and Kaito starts explaining how the SEKAI works to Tsukasa again. But like last time, Tsukasa says his true feelings are to become the world's top star. But as he's saying this, a bunny plushie floats up to him and starts talking, which freaks Tsukasa out, causing him to fall and hit his head, and pass out. When he comes to, he sees he's still in this world, and he can't take it anymore, and wants out of this world. But it appears in his fall, he lost his phone. So in an act of desperation, he makes a deal with Emu that if she helps him find his phone, Tsukasa will join Emu as a cast member on the Wonder Stage. As soon as the promise is made, Emu finds the phone, and the two of them instantly leave the SEKAI. Soon, Tsukasa realizes what he just promised, and after some persuasion, Tsukasa reluctantly joins the cast for real this time. But you can't just have a cast of 2 for a show, so they go out and search for more people to join their troupe. Looks like luck was on their side, because pretty soon they stumble across a strange guy with drones performing in the streets of the park.
Wow! All these tiny robots are scuttling around him!
Once upon a time, there was an eccentric alchemist.
Those look like drones. That's a modern take on puppet theater.
Ooh, they're flying now!
Using robots and drones in a show for kids is pretty out there, but what he is doing is certainly impressive. The narration is well paced and his gestures are expressive. He skillfully manages to make the audience sympathize with the robots too. Could he have created this performance entirely by himself? If so, I want him as our stage director!
The alchemist came up with his own ideas and rehearsed them alone, trying to match the performance of the traveling theater troupe. Eventually, he invited the townsfolk to see a show, and when they did...
You again!
Oh dear, it seems we're due for an unscheduled intermission. We'll continue the story some other time. Was the alchemist show a success? For now, I shall leave that to your imagination.
The strange man runs off and vanishes into the crowd. Tsukasa and Emu come to learn that guy was not an employee of the park, but rather some eccentric youngster who does unauthorized performances. Unfortunately, that man would be the only promising individual they would find. The next day at school, Tsukasa is complaining about the day he had yesterday to his classmates, and asks him if he knows anyone performing shows of robots. And apparently his classmate does. His name is Kamishiro Rui, and he apparently goes to this school. After searching for a bit, Tsukasa finds Rui at the rooftop of the school. When Tsukasa asks him to join the crew, Rui rejects the offer as he works best alone with absolute creative freedom. Fortunately, due to Tsukasa's sheer confidence and eccentricism, he's able to persuade Rui enough to join, but only on the condition Rui is able to bring his friend as well. After school, Tsukasa brings Rui to the Wonder Stage and gets him acquainted with the stage and Emu. But when asked where his friend is, he pulls out a robot.
What is this, Rui? You were supposed to bring a new cast member, not another robot.
It's a little complicated. First, I should explain that this isn't an autonomous robot of the sort I used at the show yesterday. This one's remotely controlled.
You made it yourself.
I did indeed. It requires charging only once every 3 days and comes with many functions optimized for use on stage. I'm quite pleased with how it turned out.
I don't need your boasting. Where's the person controlling this thing?
She's nearby. Don't worry. She has been fully trained in the control of this robot.
Listen, Rui. We're not looking for a robot. We're looking for a real human to join our shows.
You got a problem with me?
Ooh, she spoke!
Yes, she can talk through the robot and can also see you on her controller's display.
I'm Emu Otori. It's nice to meet you, little robot. Do you have a name?
A name?
Come to think of it, we haven't named the robot. Could you tell them your name instead this time?
Nene Kusanagi.
Thanks! I'll call the robot Robo-Nene.
Robo-Nene. I guess that's fine.
If we can converse through this contraption, I have something to tell you, Nene Kusanagi. You may not have heard, but we do musicals, and with a star such as myself on stage, every other actor's performance must also be of the highest caliber. You obviously can neither dance nor sing with that robot. I'm sorry, but we cannot accept you as a member of our troupe.
You call yourself a star, but you can't even recognize talent when you see it?
What?
You think a robot can't dance? Maybe you need a demonstration?
That's a good idea, Nene. Perform a little display of both your and the robot's abilities. Emu, could you put on some music, please?
Sure! Robo Nene, it's showtime!
You can try. No matter how skilled Rui may be at building robots, it can't possibly... She's tap dancing? With those stubby little legs?
That's very good, Nene.
Whoa! Her feet are tap-tapping so fast!
And now a smooth jazz dance? This shouldn't be possible with that short, squat stature.
That's so awesome! Robo Nene, you're a great dancer.
Well,
Dancing is one thing, but singing is just as important in musicals. I can't have a poor singer in the cast.
so if I sing, I'm hired?
Wow, that was a beautiful song, and such a beautiful singing voice too.
No way, she can't be great at everything. Ah, I get it. That was a recording of someone else singing, wasn't it?
But Tsukasa, that was Robo Nene's voice.
But now, anything else you want me to prove?
Well, Tsukasa, does Nene not meet your requirements?
I suppose she's good enough to perform with us. But what if she steals the limelight from me? No, that's not possible. I'm the true star here.
You're gonna have to let me join if it's gonna make you feel insecure.
You heard that? Well, I'm gonna become the world's top star. Insecurity is a feeling entirely alien to me.
Oh, really?
Why are you giving me that dubious look?
Oh, how could you tell? How amazing, Mr. Future Star.
You're awfully confrontational. But I understand. You're simply jealous of my talent.
I can see you two will get along well.
Tsukasa, I want to do shows with Robo Nene. She's so good. It must be because she really loves theater and has practiced lots and lots. I adore her.
I admit, her singing and dancing past muster.
Then she can join us? Can she?
Okay, I'll allow it. She'll be our 4th member.
Yay! Welcome to the team, Robo Nene. And Nene.
Thanks.
Be grateful for my magnanimous nature.
Don't even think of sabotaging me on stage, or else I'll fire my beam at you.
Beam? This thing has a laser?
Let's make great shows together, everyone.
Nene, they've gone now. You can come out.
There's gotta be something wrong with them, hiring a robot as a troop member.
I agree, they all seem rather crazy.
Look who's talking. You suddenly appeared with a robot inviting me to do shows with you again. Like that's normal. You knew I'd given up theater.
Really? Then why did you come?
You're an awful human being.
We both have our faults. Aren't you bored playing games at home all day? Think of this as a new kind of game, and have some fun.
With the whole cast assembled, they get started on their first production, with Tsukasa writing the script. But the gang realizes they need to come up with a name for their troupe. After lots of brainstorming, they come up with the name Wonderlands Showtime. During rehearsals, Rui is running rampant with ideas for the show, like causing lightning strikes to happen, adding a flamethrower to the dragon, and launching Tsukasa 10 meters in the air. During later rehearsals, Rui finds Tsukasa's movements and fighting a bit lacking. Tsukasa asks for some hints on how he could improve his performance, but when he says this, Imu remembers the SEKAI exists, and they could just ask Miku and Kaido for help. Before Tsukasa can have any time to object, all 4 are sent into the SEKAI. Rui is amazed by this place and runs off to explore, while Emu and Tsukasa ask Kaito how he could help improve Tsukasa's performance. And Kaito actually gives Tsukasa some good advice, and points him in the right direction for the character. At the same time, Rui comes back from exploring the SEKAI, and he has brought back the bunny plushie from last time, who is currently begging Tsukasa to help them. Frightened, Tsukasa tells Ryu to ditch the plushie, and they all leave the SEKAI. After the SEKAI trip, things are going great. And when the gang gets to dress rehearsal, everything went perfect, and everyone's excited for tomorrow. But before Rui leaves, he finds Nene practicing her scenes, and he stays behind to help her. After helping for a while, Rui leaves to get some rest for tomorrow's show, but Nene stays to rehearse some more parts. The day has finally come, and the audience is packed. The gang gets ready and starts their performance, and everything is going perfect. But when they get to the part where Nene needs to sing to the dragon and its keeper to make them fall asleep, so her and Tsukasa can get past to slay the demon lord, Robo Nene shuts down mid-singing. Tsukasa and Emu are able to improv and ad-lib a bit to buy time to get the robot back on, but the robot ends up falling on Tsukasa, and Rui has to come in and tells the audience that The prince befriended the dragon and its keeper, and the prince would continue his journey for a long time before he would finally cross swords with the demon lord, which just left the audience confused, sad, and disappointed. After the show, the gang finds out the robot wasn't recharged before the show.
You forgot to charge it? I can't believe my show was ruined all because of such a stupid mistake!
I'm sorry.
I don't need apologies!
Tsukasa, it's not like Nena did it on purpose. After we left yesterday, she stayed behind to rehearse until late. It's partially my fault too. I forgot to check the battery before the show. Next time I'll make sure—
Next time? And what about today's audience? There's a different show every day. Each time we perform, we're battling to win over the hearts of the audience. That's why we must succeed each and every time. Did you all want to make today's show a success? Or are you going to tell me you didn't care?
It's all my fault. It's because I was too scared to perform in person. I shouldn't have relied on a robot.
Nene.
So you admit it? I should have known there was something wrong with you. Staying hidden and only talking to us through a robot. So you're a shy girl, not good with public performances. You think that's an excuse? If you can't even face your audience, how can you put on a good show?
Tsukasa, stop it.
Sorry. I'm sorry.
Nene! Don't you think you went too far? You're right that it's impossible to do great shows when one of the actors can't face the audience. But you seem to be forgetting about something even more basic. You can't stage great shows alone either. Maybe I'm a hypocrite. I've been performing solo for a long time, after all. But since joining this troupe, it's become clearer to me than ever before how much more interesting shows become when you work together. Fellow performers should be valued. What are you trying to achieve by picking on your colleague who is already feeling terribly guilty over what happened? I'm disappointed to see that you don't seem to have true passion for theater after all.
No! You're wrong! I put my heart and soul into making our show the best it could be. I've always given my all to performances, always trying my best to one day achieve stardom.
To achieve stardom, you say? That's all you care about? So I'm right then. To you, theater is just a means of achieving some selfish personal goal.
Wait, how can you say that?
I won't be coming here anymore.
Eh?
Oh, and by the way, you don't have what it takes to become a star.
Why? Why do you think I don't have what it takes?
Rui, don't go! Tsukasa, wait! I just want to say I had lots of fun today. I really enjoyed performing in front of an audience. That's why I want to try again. Next time, everything will go just fine. Didn't you like being in the show?
With how it went? No!
Tsukasa!
For crying out loud, why did it have to end this way? I just wanted to stage a show. Huh? What was that flash? My phone? It was that song, Untitled. Why did it do that? It's so quiet. Where is everyone? Normally Miku and Kaito would come out right away. Is someone crying? Is that plushie crying? Hey, what's wrong? Why are you crying? Why am I talking to this toy as if it were a person? Don't cry, don't cry. Look, watch this. I'll do a snazzy dance for you. That's only made it cry even more. I guess there's nothing I can do. Hold on, there's something else I could try.
Boo-hoo!
Hey, Wonderhoy! This is the Wonder Stage, a place filled with smiles.
Boo. Huh?
This time I want you to join in. Ready? Wonderhoy!
Wonder Boy?
Close, but it's hoy, not boy. Reach up and wave with both hands like this.
Wonderhoy!
That's it. Now you can do Wonderhoy. You can consider yourself the prince's friend.
What prince?
Well, I'm the prince, of course, and that makes you my friend.
Oh, we're friends! Prince, can we go on an adventure now?
Hey, don't pull my arm.
Tsukasa and the bunny plushie would then go on an adventure throughout the SEKAI, and it made Tsukasa feel strangely nostalgic. At that moment, Tsukasa was able to see under the plushie's foot. to find Saki's name there. He then realizes this is Saki's childhood plushie. Not only that, but the tent in the SEKAI was something he would use in his old shows as a kid. Posters around the SEKAI were ones he drew, and all of the decorations were old toys of his. He then finally remembers why he decided to do theater in the first place. To cheer Saki up. To be like the stars that made her smile. And with a little push from Kaito and Miku, Tsukasa is determined to bring the troupe back together. The next day, Tsukasa goes to the Wonder Stage, only to find that no one came today. Tsukasa goes looking around the park to see if anyone in the troupe is around. After a while of searching, Tsukasa is able to find Emu, who asks him to join her on the Ferris wheel, which confuses Tsukasa.
Oh, look down over there, Tsukasa!
Where? Ah, the Wonder Stage. Seen from above, it's in a really nice location, surrounded by greenery.
Yes, Grandpa built the stage there precisely because of that.
Your grandpa did? Wait a second. Are you saying your grandpa built Phoenix Wonderland?
Yeah!
But wait, Otori. That's the name of the family who owns the Phoenix Group. You're super rich! Why on earth were you even working on that tiny stage?
You see, Grandpa passed a year ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Dad said then that we should have that stage demolished and a new one built in its place, because it was old and maintenance cost too much. But Grandpa liked that stage so much, I wanted to save it, so I asked Dad to spare it. He said that we could keep it if I could make it popular enough so that it would turn a profit. He gave me until the spring break to do it.
Why didn't you tell me this right from the start?
Because we were all so busy preparing the show. Grandpa told me that you need a diverse troupe for a good show, and at least one of them has to be committed to helping all the others' talents shine. But now it's time to give up. Today, I'm saying bye-bye to the Wonder Stage.
No, why would you do that? Isn't it terribly important to you? You wanted to save it.
I did, but it was selfish, because it only made you all unhappy. Making people smile is the most important thing. That's what Grandpa told me.
That's why you're giving up.
Yep.
Emma, you dummy. You're such a dummy.
What?
Don't you get it? You want to make everyone smile, right? But you're so sad now. You're almost in tears. Wouldn't your grandpa want you to be happy? We're going to do another show. And this time, the audience will love it. I promise you that.
Tsukasa, but I thought...
I was wrong, and I'm sorry, Emu. Can we please still do shows together?
Yes! Yes! Let's make everyone smile, Tsukasa! Together!
That's the plan, Emu.
With Emu back, the two go to the Wonder Stage, only to find Nene there singing with the Robo Nene. When she notices the two, she rides Robo Nene out of there, and Tsukasa and Emu give chase. After a long chase, Tsukasa and Emu are able to catch Nene and talk to her.
I get it. You don't want to talk to me after all the mean things I said to you. You don't have to say anything, but please listen to what I have to say. I'm really sorry about yesterday. I lashed out because I was so crushed when the show didn't go as planned. But I should have realized that you felt far worse than I did. I was being selfish. I didn't consider your feelings, nor anyone else's. I'm really sorry. It took me a while, but I finally remembered what it was I really wanted. To make shows that make people smile. A happy audience makes us, the performers, happy too. That's what makes it worth pouring everything we have into creating the best theatrical production we can. And for that, I would really like you to be part of our troupe. Nene.
I also want to keep acting. I've loved theater since I was little. When I was in junior high school, I joined a large troupe as a junior member. I practiced, and eventually I was given the leading role in a production. But during that performance, I forgot my lines. Since then, whenever I feel people's eyes on me, I start shaking and get tongue-tied. Then Brui made Robo Nene for me. Even when I was just remotely controlling the robot, I really enjoyed taking part in the play. What you said, Tsukasa, it's true. I know I can't perform to the best of my ability if I'm not even able to get on stage and face the audience, but...
There's a sure way to never make a mistake. Don't ever try anything new, and you'll never make a mistake. Those are the words of a certain star I look up to. You can't avoid making mistakes when you challenge yourself, but each one of them, you get closer to the perfect performance. I'm ashamed for taking out my frustration on you when all you did was attempt something new. Nene, I admit, I was wrong, but this, I really mean. Let's keep doing shows together. Let's try together to stage the most amazing shows ever.
Yes, I want this too. Thank you for having me in your troupe.
It's a pleasure, Nene.
Yay! I'm so happy you're staying with us, Nene. And Robo Nene.
I'm happy too. Thank you.
Now the only one left is Rui, and luckily Nene knows where he lives as her neighbors. But on the way to his house, they actually find Rui performing on the streets.
Rui!
Nene and Emu, and I see you're here as well. I'm finished with my show. As usual, no one stopped to hear the story.
Wait, Rui, I need to talk to you.
About yesterday? There's no need. You should move on.
Rui, I decided to not give up on theater.
I'm glad to hear that.
Rui, be honest. Don't you want to perform with others again?
Rui, I'm really sorry about yesterday. I was so disappointed that the show flopped that I couldn't think clearly, and I forgot what was really important. Like you said, it takes more than one person to stage great shows. What I did was plain wrong. I'm not expecting you to just forgive me, but at least if you could come back.
So you thought about what I said. Not to offend, but I really don't care. The argument was between you and Nene. If she forgave you, then that's good, but we are simply not compatible.
What do you mean by that?
Your ambition to perform is motivated solely by your desire to be a popular star, correct? I, on the other hand, want to create wonderful shows for the audience to enjoy. Our values are worlds apart.
It used to be like that, but now I
appreciate that you gave Nene the opportunity to return to acting, but I don't feel like staging shows with you again. For a while, it was fun. Thank you for that.
With that, Rui leaves, leaving the three stumped on how to convince him to come back to the troupe. While trying to think of a way to convince Rui, Emu says something that gives Tsukasa an idea that involves the SEKAI. So after much planning with Miku and Kaito, Tsukasa confronts Rui on the streets one last time.
What is this, an ambush? I'm sorry, but I'm not changing my mind.
I need to show you something.
Whatever it is, it won't make a difference. Like I said, I don't want to stage shows with you ever again.
No! I got him!
Here.
What are you doing, Emu? And you too, Nene?
Do it, Tsukasa!
Good job. Rui, I'm gonna show you my true feelings.
You brought me here again?
Hello, everyone! 今夜のショーは、みんなが笑顔になるスペシャルショーだよ。あるところにへんてこな旅の一座がいました。一座にいるのは目立ちたがり屋な座長に話を聞かない後継役者。人前で歌が歌えない歌姫。そんなメンバーなので、一座がショーをしても、お客さんはなかなか集まりません。けれど、そんなある日、一座は偶然、森の中で一人ショーをする錬金術師に出会いました。
What an incredible performance! If you joined us, our troupe would make a name for itself at last.
誰だい？
I am a showman, and I could use your help to put on wonderful shows. I promise that our spectacles will be a joy to see, and a joy to perform in.
そうか。それなら、少しだけ力を貸すよ。
Yay! Welcome to our troupe!
But will I find the courage to sing?
錬金術師は人前で歌えない歌姫のために代わりに歌声を届けてくれる人形を作りました。そしてショーのために雷の光、風吹く舞台、大きなドラゴンのからくりまで用意してくれたのです。けれどショーの途中で人形が壊れてしまい、ショーは大失敗。座長は頭に血が上るあまり、みんなから笑顔を奪ってしまい、一座はバラバラになってしまいました。けれど、一人ぼっちになった座長は、突然、とても寂しくなってしまいました。ショーを作っているときは、あんなにも楽しかったのに、するとそこに、かわいい妖精がやってきました。君は、どうしてショーをやるの？本当は、みんなのニコニコした顔が見たかったんじゃないのかな？
How could I have forgotten?
座長はショーを始めた頃のことを思い出し、仲間を責めたことを反省しました。
I wanted to be a star so that I, too, could make people as happy as I was then. It was very important to me, but I forgot it along the way. I shall never forget it again. What I want is to make people smile. I want to perform with my troupe again.
座長は深く謝って再び仲間を集めました。しかし錬金術師は座長を信じられません。座長は本当にショーをやりたいのではない。ただ人気者のスターになりたいだけではないかと。それでも座長はどうにか錬金術師に戻ってきてもらおうと考え、そして錬金術師のためにショーをしました。精一杯のショーの後、座長は呼びかけます。
It's true that it's my dream to become a star who brings joy to everyone. To me, a star is someone who delights the audience as much as his fellow performers, with the most wonderful shows. Please, believe me this time. With our next show, we can spread joy to everyone around us. Won't you join my troupe again?
さて、錬金術師はどうすると思う？
What do I think? This is your role.
いや、僕はここまでの代役だよ。それに、ここから先の展開はまだ決まっていないんだ。
Did you think you could express your feelings better through performance?
Yes, as a matter of fact, I did. Theater has given me so much. I've seen shows which stirred my feelings. Shows that filled me with enthusiasm. They made me dream of starring in shows like that myself. That's why my feelings can be communicated most clearly through a show. Rui, let's make shows together again. Please.
Wonderful shows which delight both the audience and the performers, I like the sound of that. But a passionate monologue alone isn't enough to move your audience. Let's think of how to make your performance more expressive, Tsukasa.
Do you mean?
Oh, do not misunderstand. I'm not Rui. I am the alchemist.
With the troupe finally back together and Tsukasa expressing his feelings with everyone, the SEKAI gives birth to a new song called The World Hasn't Even Started Yet, which is about how the world and life itself are full of endless possibilities. After performing the song, the gang thank Miku and head back to the real world, and to the Wonder Stage, where Emu tells Ryu and Nene about how the stage will be demolished. But Rui points out how the deadline is before the end of the school break, so they still have time to attract a large audience to the stage. So the gang decides to perform shows every day until the deadline, starting today. Their first show goes flawlessly, and Nene is actually performing on stage this time. Every show afterwards goes wonderfully as well, and continues to bring in large crowds. A week later, they reach the deadline and are spent.
I'm beat. I can't move a muscle.
So tired.
Well, I suppose doing 5 shows in one day takes its toll. Even I have that lead-in feeling in my limbs, despite my appearances being so brief.
But towards the end, we had so many spectators. There weren't enough seats. That's star power for you.
Huh? You think so? I overheard people saying that they came to our show because the park mascots and Robo Nene made it seem like fun.
That certainly helped a lot, too.
I wonder if we've done enough to convince the management to keep this stage.
Emu's dad summoned her up to his office.
Guys!
Emu, how did it go? What's gonna happen to the stage?
What?
Wonderhoy!
Wonderhoy!
Yes! That means we did it!
I'm so happy. So the stage won't be demolished after all.
Our efforts have paid off.
Thank you for all your help, guys.
I'm happy for you, Emu. Oh, that's a huge relief. But now I feel like I don't have an ounce of energy left.
We still need to tidy up, remember?
Indeed. It is a little sad, but now that Showtime's over, we need to clear up the stage decor.
Say, Emu, what are your plans from now on? Since the stage will stay, your dad must be expecting you to keep using it, right?
Yup, I also want to keep making more and more people smile with lots of new shows.
And you too. What do you want to do?
I'd like to keep performing and aim to become a professional actress one day.
I live for performances. So I too intend to carry on staging shows. With actors such as you, I could create plays that redefine entertainment.
Okay, it seems like we're all on the same page. Wonderlands Showtime shall continue operations. I used to think that to become a star actor, you had to gain experience performing in major productions. But working on a show together with you reminded me that the best shows are the ones that inspire joy. And to make them, you need to have a like-minded troupe. I want to continue making shows together with you all. Here on this stage we saved. What do you say?
Yes, yes, yes!
Whoa, easy there!
I want the same as you! Let's make lots and lots of shows together!
I'm happy to continue too. Maybe I could even perform on stage together with Robo Nene.
If we're keeping this troop going, I'll be able to get more creative with my plays. I can't wait to get started.
Tsukasa, you're already doing a stellar job making us happy with your ideas.
Right? I am a star after all. Shower me with praise. I deserve it.
You're the brightest star in the galaxy.
And so that brings an end to this story, but not the end of Wonderland's Showtime. Yoisaki Kanade has lived a very sad life. Her mother died early on in her life, and a few years later her father was hospitalized for an event she fully blames herself for. Because of the circumstances regarding her father's hospitalization, Kanade has made it her mission to create music that can reach out to people and save them. Over the course of 2 years, Kanade would put together a group called Nightcord at 25. Kanade is the composer of the group, Shinonome Enna is the illustrator, Akiyama Mizuki is the video editor and animator, and Asahina Mafuyu is the lyricist. No one in the group actually knows what each other looks like, or even what their real names are, as everyone goes by aliases and they only talk on Nightcord through DMs and voice calls. During one of their calls, Enna brings up a new artist who's been bringing in a lot of views called Own. Own's music is a lot like their own, but more dark and depressing.
I totally get it. They have that kind of sharp tone that feels like it's cutting into your soul. I wonder what kind of person you have to be to make songs like that.
No idea. I'm curious, but I also don't think I want to know. If only my drawings could be that amazing too.
Ananon?
Oh, sorry. It's nothing. Forget I said anything.
I think your artwork's plenty amazing, Ananon.
Huh?
You always manage to capture the feel of Kei's songs perfectly. I was really surprised at how good your last illustration was. It felt delicate and gentle, but also a little sad. I thought it was wonderful.
Really?
Yeah, I really like your art.
Thanks, Yuki.
I'm starting to pass out here. Time to get some sleep.
I should get some sleep too. Talk to you tomorrow.
While Enna and Mizuki left the call, Kanade and Mafuyu stay on to listen to some of Own's music together. But something about these lyrics seem familiar to Kanade, and she asks Mafuyu if she's Own, which she obviously denies, but is flattered by the fact Kanade even remembers her old songs. Which then leads to them talking about the past, and then Kanade asks why Mafuyu even agreed to join Nightcord at 25.
I guess because it sounded fun? It's not every day you get the chance to make songs with the group. That, and because I was really impressed the first time I listened to your songs. I felt like your song saved me.
Huh? Saved?
Huh? Sorry, that sounded strange, didn't it? Maybe we should get back to work. It'll be morning soon.
Okay.
Alright, I'll talk to you later then.
So I actually managed to save someone with my songs. I'm so glad.
The next day at school, Mafuyu's teacher submitted her essay to a competition. As the essay Mafuyu wrote was masterfully written. A couple of the students hear about this and start congratulating her, but Mafuyu is wise to their schemes and realizes they just want her to help them with their homework. And being the person she is, she happily obliges. After school, while on a call with Mizuki, she gets interrupted by her mother, where she asks Mafuyu if she wants carrot stew for dinner. The conversation then shifts to Mafuyu helping her classmates, where her mother tells her she's better off spending her time with people who can challenge her, rather than those who always need your help. That way you'd be learning something as well. And then she leaves. Mizuki overhears this entire conversation and is concerned. They ask exactly what her mom meant by that last comment. Mafuyu says it was just a bit of advice to study with smart kids from time to time. Mizuki clarifies that it seems like Mafuyu's mom seems to be pushing her values on her, but Mafuyu tells them that that kind of stuff doesn't really bother her. Mizuki is still concerned by this, but doesn't push the topic any further. Besides, Mafuyu has to leave to eat dinner. At dinner, her mother reveals that she's picked out some universities that Mafuyu should apply to. She just needs to let her know which one she likes the best. Later that day, Kanade has just come back home from visiting her dad at the hospital and hopped on a call with Enna and Mizuki. Kanade asks where Mafuyu is,
Enna and Mizuki just had assumed she went to sleep early today, as she's one of the only people in the group that consistently goes to school. But then a week passes by and they still haven't heard from her, which makes everyone very concerned. They all look for any sort of way they could contact her, and when Mizuki looks into the shared folder they have together, they find a song that was last updated when Mafuyu disappeared, called Untitled. When the gang go to listen to it, their screens start glowing and they're all sucked into the SEKAI. When Kanade comes to, she finds herself in a desolate white wasteland, and after a bit she finds Enna and Mizuki. This is also the first time they have all actually met in person, so they go ahead and introduce themselves to each other, and telling one another their real names. After a bit of walking, they find Hatsune Miku. She tells them the whole SEKAI spiel, and that they gotta save a girl, and have her discover her true feelings before something bad happens. But as she's telling the gang this, Mafuyu appears and is shocked to see other people here.
Miku, why are there people here?
It really is Yuki.
I'm so glad you're alright, Yuki. We were getting worried after not hearing from you for so long. Have you been here the whole time? Did you get stuck here because you couldn't find a way to get back? What's wrong? Yuki, are you alright? Are you hungry for not having eaten since you got here or something?
Annoying.
Huh?
Stay out of my world and leave me alone.
What is that supposed to mean? Are you saying you don't want to go home?
I just said that. I want to be left alone here.
Alone? That's...
What's going on here?
Then does that mean you don't want to keep making songs with us?
That's right. How many times do I have to say it?
Yeah, but this kind of feels a bit sudden, you know?
Does that mean you just want to make songs by yourself from now on as own?
What? Own? You mean... what?
Yeah, that's right. I'm Own.
Seriously?
Are you really Own?
That's what I said.
What? So that means the entire time Ami and I were talking about Own the other day, why didn't you say anything?
I didn't see any reason to tell you, so I didn't. I've never spoken to you as anyone other than Yuki, after all.
Huh? What's that supposed to mean? So what was going through your head while I went off about how amazing you were without even knowing the truth? Were you just having a laugh at my expense?
Calm down, Enanon. Can we at least talk about this a little more, Yuki? Even if you are Own, do you really have to stop being part of N25? This is all way too sudden.
There's no reason for me to remain part of N25.
What?
Being in N25 wasn't enough.
Enough for what?
Kate, the first time I heard your songs, I felt like they had saved me. So I thought being near you might be enough to help me find what I was looking for. But it wasn't enough. I wasn't able to find anything.
Oh. So I wasn't able to save you?
And if being around you won't help me find what I'm looking for, then I'll just have to do it on my own. Miku, I have nothing else to say to these people. Get them out of here.
そう、あなたは本当に一人で見つけられるの？
If there's still a possibility I can find myself, then I'll give up everything to do so. That is the only option left. But if I can't find myself even then I'll just have to disappear.
What the heck are you even talking about? Being saved? Disappear? What's wrong with you?
Come on, let's talk about this. You're acting strange, Yuki.
Strange? If I'm strange, then so are all of you. Be honest. Kei, Amiya, Enanon, you all want to disappear more than anyone, and yet you call me strange?
Seriously, what's gotten into you, Yuki? What do you mean I want to disappear? I love my life, so why would I think that?
You don't have to do this anymore. Amiya, you always act like you're having fun, but deep down you know exactly what I'm talking about, don't you? Anyway, I'm tired of this. Miku, I don't want these people in my world.
Huh? Miku, hold on!
What? When Miku touched her, she just disappeared.
あなたも
Mizuki!
さよなら。
Wait! Huh? I'm back in my room.
Kanade gets on a call with Mizuki and Enna to talk about what just happened, but everyone is very tired and they desperately need sleep. So they all decide to talk again tomorrow. But not everyone goes to sleep.
What's wrong with her? Now that she can write songs like that by herself, she just doesn't care about us normies anymore. Is that it? She gets 200,000 views on her own and then decides she doesn't need us? How dare she make fun of me like that? She never cared about my art one bit. I'll show her. I'll keep drawing until I become bigger than her. Then I can pay her back for making me look stupid. This is terrible. The draft looked just fine, but now the perspective's all wrong. I just can't get it to work, no matter what I do.
Anna, you're still up?
What are you doing? You think it's okay to barge into my room whenever you want, Dad?
I just thought you'd fallen asleep with the light on. What are you doing up so late? Are you drawing again?
What if I am? Does it upset the genius artist whenever his talentless daughter draws?
No, do whatever you want. Anyone can draw. There's no rules that say you need to have talent to do it.
Just get out! Why? Why? Why is it that all these people with talent think it's okay to belittle me, making me look like an idiot?
Anna, it's the middle of the night. Keep it down, will ya? It's about Dad again?
Shut up! This has nothing to do with you, Akito. Get out!
Yeah, whatever. You're the one who needs to shut up, though.
I have to keep drawing. I have to keep drawing. If I keep drawing, then even I could... Can I really make something as good as that? People are already commenting. It's so easy to get people to notice me. But who cares? Why can't I need to draw, but why do things have to be like this? She's right. I just want to disappear forever. Why does the one who understands me have to be her?
The next day, Mizuki has to attend some supplementary lessons at school because their grades are starting to slip. While at school, a couple students have been talking about the way they dress, and at the end of the school day, they end up asking Mizuki why they dress the way they do, which Mizuki responds with because they like it, and then leaves. While walking after school, Mizuki is talking to their classmates about the whole encounter, and how rude those two were. They split and Mizuki goes to the mall, but at the mall, they spot their classmates.
Hey, you guys!
You know, if Mizuki doesn't like people pointing it out, then why not just dress normally for school? I know, right? Of course people are going to say things when you stand out like that. That's just the way Mizuki is, I guess. Totally. Some people just don't know how to fit in.
Oh, so that's how it is? If that's what they really thought, then why bother talking to me as if they understood? It's so stupid. All I want to do is be myself. Maybe she's right. But, liar, Yuki, it actually bothers you too, doesn't it?
Later that night when getting on Nightcord, Kanade has been kind of out of it, barely paying attention to what the group has been saying, and taking on tasks Mifuyu would usually do. Mizuki and Enna decide to leave her alone for the night and get into a separate call. While working, Kanade suddenly feels really dizzy and falls onto the floor. She then realizes she hasn't eaten anything today. When she gets back up on her chair, she sees that Own has uploaded a new song, and this song is even more dark and depressing than the last one. Remembering she was never able to say Mifuyu, she starts to reminisce on the past. Kanade has always been gifted at music and would create music for her dad to listen to. One day, her father was struggling to write a new song for a competition to get a song featured in a commercial. Kanade saw this and asked her dad if she could give the song a listen. When she did, she found the part he was struggling with and made some adjustments, and it was just what her father needed. He later submitted the song and won the competition. Unfortunately, the part of the song that won the competition was the part Kanade wrote. The part that would be in the commercial. The part that clients would want more of. The parts he didn't do. He would spend days just trying to get a piece that sounded like that one part. Kanade saw that her dad was really sad and decided to do something. So after weeks, she went up to her dad and showed him a song she made for him. The song was beautiful, and he told Kanade to keep creating music. The next day, Kanade found her dad passed out on the floor. Turns out he suffered from overwork and would have to be hospitalized. When Kanade got back home from the hospital, she found his journal. This is where she learned that her dad had been struggling to get work for a while, as his music sounded too old-fashioned. Winning the competition was able to get him more work, but because it featured Kanade's part, clients wanted something that sounded like that.
but he had to keep telling them he couldn't make something like that. He couldn't figure out why no one wanted his music. That was until he heard the song Kanade made for him, which made him realize he's just been imitating songs he's heard throughout his life. But Kanade's song was made with feelings, something he can't copy. Reading all of this, Kanade realizes it's all her fault for why her dad is in the hospital, and starts tearing the room apart. After trashing the room, she curls up into a ball and starts to spiral into a depression. But suddenly, music starts to play.
Mom's music box. I must have knocked it on the floor. Dad made this song. Such a gentle melody. Mom and I both loved this song that Dad made. I've got to make more. All this happened to Dad because my songs couldn't bring happiness to anyone. I have to be able to write songs that will bring happiness to others. Songs that can save anyone. I must compose. I must compose. Mustn't ever stop composing. Dad, I really tried my best, but my music still wasn't able to save anyone. I hurt you, and I couldn't save Yuki. Am I supposed to keep making music, even after all this? So that's why Yuki was there, alone in that cold, quiet world. I belong there too. It's okay to give up now, right?
Kanade travels to the SEKAI, lies down, and starts to close her eyes. But before she's able to, she hears Miku singing one of her old songs. She goes over to Miku to ask how she knows that song, only to find out it's always been in this SEKAI. It was able to reach Mafuyu in some way, and Miku suggests it was able to reach her because they both feel the same way. If anyone is going to get Mafuyu to discover her true feelings, it's going to be Kanade. With this pep talk, Kanade is determined to make a new song that will reach Mafuyu again. Back in the real world, Mafuyu is in her bedroom, doom scrolling through comments on her video, while thinking exactly when she lost sight of her true self. Turns out, not that long ago, as in middle school, Mafuyu wrote a paper on what she wanted to be in the future, and she wrote about how she wanted to be a nurse. But when she told her mother about this, she told Mafuyu she should try to be a doctor instead. Back at school, she wrote a new essay about being a doctor, and her teachers and classmates all agreed that that's the perfect path for her to take. And since everyone is supporting her on this path, it must be the right one then. Time passes and Mafuyu's mom gets her some cake for all the hard work she's been doing. But when she goes to eat it, it tastes like nothing. She then starts to realize it's not just the cake, but all of the food she's been eating for a while now has started to taste bland. To get her mind off the topic, she thinks to do something she likes, only to then realize she doesn't know what she likes. She doesn't know what she even wanted to do in the first place. Back to the Nightcord call, Enna and Mizuki are talking about Mafuyu, and Mizuki realizes that Mafuyu has probably been struggling for a while now to change herself to fit in with the expectations of everyone around her. And now it's finally become too much to handle, and she doesn't know what to do anymore. While talking, they both get a notification that Owen has uploaded a new song, and then another new song, and then another. Each one getting even more and more dark than the last. But before they can talk about this, Kanade joins the call with the plan to save Mafuyu. Mizuki asks if they could join her to the SEKAI to let her know how they feel. Enna, on the other hand, does not want to go. Mafuyu has just gone home from school and sees that her synthesizer has been put in the trash can. Turns out her mother took the liberty of doing this as she has never seen her use it, and she just found a tutor to help her practice with med school, and she wants Mafuyu to meet them next week. This was the final straw for Mafuyu, and goes to her room and into the SEKAI to finally disappear forever. But before she's able to, she hears Kanade calling her name.
Yuki.
Thank goodness! We found you!
Why? Why did you come back? I told you to leave me alone.
I came because I want you to listen to my song.
Your song?
You said before that my music wasn't enough, so I made another song, one that will be able to save you this time.
I don't need it anymore. Just leave me alone. Miku, get them out of here. Miku, did you hear me? Hurry up and get rid of these two.
聞いて。
Huh?
この曲を聞いて。
Not you two. Why?
Please, Yuki.
Go away.
I just want to be left alone so I can disappear. I don't want your help.
Kay, your phone!
Now get out! Stop barging in here when you don't know a single thing about me!
I do know. You said it yourself, Yuki. You accused us all of wanting to disappear. You were right. I want to disappear so badly. I don't know what to do. All because my music caused the person I care for most to suffer.
You what?
My dad used to be a songwriter. He worked so hard, always hoping that his music would bring people happiness. I wanted to be like him, so I started writing songs myself. But the songs I wrote only pushed my dad into a corner.
Your songs did that?
Yeah, he suffered for so long because the songs he made were old. Nobody wanted them. But I kept making him listen to my music, not realizing he was forcing himself to smile as he did. That just made things worse. It forced him to think about the fact that he wasn't able to write music like mine. He lost confidence in himself and ended up collapsing from the pressure. And now he can't make music anymore.
That's terrible. But is it really your fault, Kanade?
Yes, it's my fault. I'm the one who hurt him. I took away the music he loved so much, and his future with it. I started wanting to disappear so badly it hurt, but my dad told me that I had to keep creating music. That's the only thing keeping me going. I have to keep writing music that can save others. Songs that can rescue them no matter how hopeless they feel. So even though I just want to disappear, I have to keep composing. So, I understand how you feel, Yuki, though our situations might be a little different.
I see. You've been cursed by your own father, Kay. A curse you could never be free of. How sad. But I don't give a damn about your curse, so don't get me involved in your problems. You're only trying to save me because you want to help yourself. A vain, desperate struggle. All that will do is make us both suffer. After all, truth is you just want to disappear.
That may be true, but still, I learned that the song I wrote reached you, Yuki. That's why I want to save you with my music. As long as there's still a chance, I will save you, even if this is a curse.
It's brave of you to admit that, but I already know listening to your song won't change anything. It might make me feel better for a while, but it would only end up strengthening my desire to disappear later. So it doesn't matter anymore. Just leave me alone.
Just knock it off already!
Huh?
Ananon, what are you doing here?
I came to give Yuki a piece of my mind. All her talk of not being able to find herself and that it'd be better if she just disappeared really pisses me off. What's your problem? How can you stand there with a straight face and say that you'd rather disappear despite the fact that you have everything I've ever wanted?
What are you talking about? I have nothing. I never have.
Nothing? I'm saying that's not the way I see it. You have the ability to make such amazing songs, and you have all those people waiting for your next one. You're so talented it makes me angry. You have so much of what I want that I can't even stand it. I can't get your music out of my head. I hate selfish people like you so much, but I still can't help but want to listen to more. Even though I hate you, there's a part of me that doesn't want you to disappear. A part of me that wants to keep listening to your music. So don't disappear. Make more of it. If you have talent, then for the sake of those who don't, keep writing. I won't forgive you if you just give up and disappear now.
It doesn't matter whether or not my songs are any good. What I want isn't great songs, nor is it the praise of others. All I wanted was to find what I was looking for, but I now realize that it was all useless, so I no longer care. Maybe you just don't understand that.
Yuki, you little...
So that's it. I kind of understand how Yuki feels. It doesn't matter how smart or rich or cute someone is. Everyone goes through rough times, right? Even if Yuki can make amazing songs, they don't mean anything if she's not able to find whatever it is that she wants most. So I think if she really wants to disappear, then she should be free to do so. We can say as much as we want, but only Yuki can truly understand what she's going through.
In that case.
But still, I just sort of got the feeling we were somehow alike. That part that feels like we might be able to change ourselves a bit at a time to fit in with those around us, and the confusion at whether we should resist or accept it, then getting so tired from trying so hard that nothing seems to matter anymore. I feel like we're similar in that. There aren't very many people who can understand how that feels. And that's why I think I'd feel really sad if you were to disappear now.
You're all so selfish. Getting jealous, sympathizing with me, trying to save me when I didn't ask for your help. Just stop. Haven't you done enough? I want to disappear. It's my only true feeling.
Yuki, even if that's true, I still want to save you.
I can't take this anymore. I'm tired of believing there's still a chance I can find what I'm looking for.
It would have been easier to believe that I never could from the very beginning. So that's why. I don't want to believe I can be saved anymore. I'm tired. I look and I look and I look, but I just can't find it. Then when I look again, it's just not right and I get depressed. So what am I even supposed to do?
I'll keep composing. Even if this song isn't able to save you, I'll keep composing until I find the one that does. I'll keep composing until you can find yourself. Even if this is a curse, I won't stop. I can't bear the thought of another person disappearing right from in front of me.
But even you really want to disappear, don't you?
Yeah, I do. So if I ever get depressed and look like I might disappear, I want you to tell me that you still haven't found what you're looking for. If you say that, I'll be able to continue composing forever.
Ridiculous. Do you even realize what you're saying? All you're doing is cursing yourself with another burden. You're forcing yourself to keep composing songs until I am able to find myself.
Yeah, I know.
Why would you go that far?
Well, I'm just being selfish. It doesn't matter which path I choose. Either way, I have to keep composing. So doing this for you doesn't change a thing.
I just don't know. I don't know how long it might take before I find myself. I may never be able to. Even knowing that, you still want to do this?
Yeah.
You look so dumb, acting all desperate. Fine, I'll try looking a bit more. You promise to keep writing music as long as it takes?
Yeah. It's alright, Yuki. I promise I'll save you someday.
With Mifuyu finding her true feelings, the SEKAI gives birth to a new song called Composing the Future. A song about the search for meaning in a seemingly indifferent world. After that, everyone is kicked out of the SEKAI and back into their own rooms. Everyone talks on Nightcord for a bit, but everyone is very tired after what just happened, so they all go to sleep. But before that, Mizuki suggests something they should all do tomorrow. The next day, Kanade visits her dad at the hospital and tells him about everything that had happened. But when she leaves, she hears him mumble her name in his sleep, which is the first time Kanade has heard him say her name in quite some time.
Oh, there she is! Hey, over here!
Sorry I'm late.
You're fine. Yuki still isn't here yet.
She messaged me saying her class ran late, but she should be here soon.
I know we just saw each other yesterday, but this is still our first time meeting up in the real world. It still feels a little weird.
Yeah, I'm not sure meeting in the other world like that counts. I finally feel like I can be sure you two actually exist. It's so strange.
You look at all the pictures I post, don't you?
Well, yeah, but you just seem different now that I'm actually meeting the real you in person.
Oh? In what way?
Let's see. For starters, now I know for sure that you're always using filters when you post your pictures.
The hell?
Sorry, I'm late.
No problem. We haven't been here long. We still haven't even ordered.
I see. May I sit here?
Oh, sure.
Alright then, let's start with a round of introductions. My name is Mizuki Akiyama. Call me Mizuki. Okay, Enanon, your turn.
Fine. I'm Ena Shinonome. It feels a little weird introducing myself again.
Oh, I guess we never really did use your real name after you told us. I'll make sure to start using it now. Who's next?
I'm Kanade Yuisaki. What about you, Yuki?
I'm Mifuyu Asahina.
Mifuyu. Do you use the characters for Midwinter? It makes sense why you chose Yuki, since it means snow. It's nice to finally meet you, Mifuyu.
Same. I'm sorry for causing so much trouble.
Hey, do you actually feel bad for what you did?
I'm not sure. I don't really know myself.
Seriously? You're the one who caused this whole mess. The least you could do is feel sorry.
I think I do.
You're not going to be like this from now on, are you?
Oh, I know. Let's order. My tummy's a rumbling. What are you getting, Enna?
I had a late lunch, so I'm just getting some cheesecake and a nice tea.
I'm okay with whatever.
Hey, you gotta decide for yourself, Mafuyu.
What are you getting, Kay?
I think I'll go with the wonton noodles and an oolong tea.
I'll get that too then.
Good. We're all decided. Let's order and make a toast.
A toast? For what?
For the first official offline meeting of N25, of course. That's the whole reason I asked everyone here today. Oh, are you two alright with this level of energy?
Yeah, I don't dislike it.
Sam.
Sorry for the wait. Here's your order.
Oh, thank you. Let's see. Kanade and Mafuyu ordered oolong tea, and Enna had the iced tea. Great, everyone has their drinks. Alright, let the first official offline meeting of N25 begin! Cheers!
Cheers. You really are way too excited.
I think that's probably good for today. I should get some sleep. Huh? A DM from Mafuyu? So she listened to it. She's not responding. I wonder if she fell asleep. My songs still aren't enough for Mafuyu. But someday.
I think overall, the main stories for each group are pretty good. There are some parts I don't like about all of them, like the opening basically being pointless in every story. What is the point of having the opening introduce the characters to the SEKAI if they're just going to immediately forget about it when they inevitably go back to it? The only real exception to this would be Wonderlands Showtime, where the SEKAI visit sets up Tsukasa's whole arc of trying to remember what his true reason for doing theater was. But then that leads into another problem the openings run into: spoiling the story. Now, this only really applies to 2 out of the 5 stories, because the rest just tell a light backstory for the protagonists. More Jump, we get to see Minori seeing Haruka on TV for the first time and getting inspired. Leonid, we would see the girls watching the stars as kids, which would come back in the ending. And Vivid Bat Squad shows us Rad Weekend, the main motivator for nearly everything that happens in that story. Wonderland Showtime is where we start getting spoilers, as we quite literally see the moment Tsukasa decides he wants to do theater. There was no reason for the game to spoil this plot point for us. It honestly just makes it annoying when Tsukasa is there wondering what his motivation for doing theater was, when it has become so obvious for the reader. Nightcord at 25 also spoils something, but not to the same degree as Wonderlands. The game decides to show the moment after Kanade trashes the place and her mom's music box start playing. This is a very powerful scene and has amazing artwork as well, but this image could have hit so much harder if they placed it during the flashback where we get a more fleshed out version of the scene. It doesn't necessarily hurt the scene by previewing it at the beginning, but I personally just think they should have cut the preview of the scene altogether. They also could have definitely put rhythm game portions in the stories here. While playing the game, I was just waiting for the moment it would switch to a short rhythm game, but no, this is strictly just a visual novel section. For groups individually, I think the only ones I didn't really like were More Jump and Leonid. Both of these just feel really basic and boring. I did like some elements of these stories. Ari and Shizuku's chemistry is great and was the best part of More Jump's story, and I think the main message of looking forward to the future is pretty good. But other than those 2 elements, I just thought it was pretty forgettable. Leonid had Saki. I thought she was a really fun character and was one of the only characters to actually push the story forward. And Shiho was cool and had her moments. I'm gonna be so honest, Leonid's story is the worst one in the game. The reasoning for everyone not being friends anymore is stupid. I don't really like Hanami's character, and Ichika is the worst protagonist in the game and basically does nothing till the last 2 episodes. I really feel like the protagonist should have been Saki, as she had so much more agency in the story, is a better character, and would have had a better hook for the story for being someone who was stuck in the hospital for years, and is out now, but only to find her friends are no longer friends anymore, and now has to reunite all of them. Again, let me remind you here, I have not played any of the events, so these characters could have become significantly better in them. Vivid Bat Squad is one of the groups I actually enjoyed. Vivid is the only group here to actually have its focus be strictly on music, its impact on people, and what it means to be a musician, which, for a game that has half of it being a rhythm game, you would think would be a more common element in each group. But no, More Jump talks about what it means to be an idol and the struggles with that. Leonid is about friendship, Wonderland Showtime is about what theater means to people, and Nightcord at 25 is about saving people. They all of course have music be part of them, but it's never the focus. Nearly all of Vivid's characters are motivated by music in some way. An and Akito both want to create another event like Rad Weekend. Kahone wants to sing with An to help her achieve that dream of surpassing Rad Weekend, and Toya feels truly free and happy while singing with Akito, and helping him in his dream to surpass Rad Weekend.
Wonderlands x Showtime is my favorite group in the game. I love how the SEKAI is specifically Tsukasa's and not the entire group's. It leads to him actually feeling like he's the protagonist of the story, as the other groups are more of an ensemble, or having the protagonist not feel like the protagonists. This cast of characters is my favorite out of all of them as well. Emu is a bundle of joy, and her motivation for wanting to keep the Wonder Stage going is very sweet. Rui is a social outcast due to how he directs and his overall vibe, but because of these traits, it led to Tsukasa and Emu recruiting him into their troupe. Nene starts off very shy towards the group, but as the story goes on, she's able to open up more and truly express herself to her new friends. And then we got Tsukasa himself, and I love that he's just an absolute prick at the beginning. He's an egotistical asshole who believes he's the greatest actor to ever live. And throughout the story, he gets slowly humbled until the middle where he finally remembers why he started theater. From that point onward, he's more open towards the troupe and truly starts to care for each of them for who they are. He still has a massive ego, but it's definitely smaller than how it was at the start. The Vocaloids are also the most used here than in any other story. Kaito and Miku are the ones that are constantly trying to make Tsukasa remember why he started theater. It was because of the SEKAI, Miku, and Kaito that Tsukasa realized his true feelings. And because of Kaito and Miku's help, Tsukasa was able to show Rui his true feelings, and have him rejoin the troupe. In any other story, you're lucky if one of them has plot relevance.
Nightcord at 25 is the most unique story here. The group is already fully assembled from the beginning, it deals with the darkest topic, and has the most interesting cast. Mafuyu is the best written character in the game. Mafuyu's entire struggle is very realistic, and being shown the exact moments when she started to lose sight of herself is masterfully done. I also really enjoyed that Mafuyu doesn't suddenly change into a happy-go-lucky girl at the end. She's still trying to find herself, but now she has a group of friends to support her. Before I get comments about it, I just want to mention that there is a 6th group, but this group is just short side stories of the Vocaloids that happen before, during, and after the events of each story, and I just did not care for this, and the way it's done makes it hard to retell, so I'm just not going to. Now, before actually moving on, I just want to share a little theory I have about this game and DIVA X. In DIVA X, there are 5 clouds you need to explore: neutral, cute, cool, beauty, and chaos. And in this game, there are 5 different groups. When you clear a cloud in X, it gives birth to a new song. In this game, after getting the groups to figure out their true feelings, their SEKAIs give birth to new songs. The videos in X take place on themed stages. The 3D videos in SEKAI takes place on the group's SEKAI stage. It's entirely possible Sega wanted to try and tempt X again, but this time with characters that can actually grow and evolve. Even the group's clouds sorta overlap with each other if you really squint. But hey, that's just a theory I had while playing. A game theory! Ow, my throat. Alright, now that the story has been fully talked about, it's time to actually get into the selling point of the game. The rhythm game portion. One of the things you'll first notice is that despite being a project game, the gameplay is more akin to a piano tile game. This is probably because charting for a piano game is easier to do, and having a normal Project Diva style of gameplay is very hard to translate onto mobile platforms. Like every other piano tile game, we got the normal notes, swipe notes, hold notes, and the swipe hold notes. What they did keep from the Project series was the music videos in the background. Kind of. We got 3 different types of backgrounds here. The basic one that only has the cover art of the song in the background, the 2D music video one where the game plays a pre-existing music video or a brand new one for the song in the background, and the 3D music videos where Sega made a brand new 3D music video featuring the groups from the game in the background. The basic backgrounds are an option for every single song. If the song doesn't have a 3D or 2D music video, it'll be the only way to play the song. 3D and 2D music videos are pretty evenly distributed throughout the game, with the only group having an obvious imbalance being the virtual singer group, but that's because most of the songs in that group are pre-existing tracks, which tend to be the ones with no 2D or 3D music videos. Speaking of, the track list for this game is one of the strongest a project game has ever had.
We have some of the best returning from the original trilogy, like World is Mine, Melt, Rolling Girl, Two-Faced Lovers, Contranella, Romeo and Cinderella, Miracle Paint, Meltdown, Butterfly on the Right Shoulder, Wintry Winds, Kokoro, Polychlorbenzine, Thousand Year Solo, the intense voice of Hatsune Miku, and the end of Hatsune Miku. Fantastic songs from the F games like Unhappy Refrain, Blackjack, Freely Tomorrow, Hello Worker, Clockwork Clown, Remote Controller, Senbon Sakura, Online Game Expectoire, Kagrio Days, Time Machine, This is the Happiness and Peace of Mind Committee, and Rinshin Now. And surprisingly, some of the songs from the Mirror games, X, and some of the new songs brought into Megamix, like Roki, Lost Ones Weeping, Happy Synthesizer, Love Trial, Deep Sea Girl, Sweet Magic, 1925, Alien, Dreaming Choo Choo, Patchwork Staccato, Hibana, Teo, Snowman, On the Rocks, Daughter of Evil, Servant of Evil, Invisible, Went to Fan Club, and Matryoshka. Then you got some absolute bangers that have never been in or had a full version in a project game, like Miku, Music Like Magic, Miku Fiesta, Magical Cure Love Shot, Dramaturgy, Viva Happy, The Vampire, Drop Pop Candy, Buriki No Dance, Your Adventure Log Has Vanished, Childish War, Ashite, Goddish, Salamander, Kiss the Villain, Evil Food Eater Conchita, Gift from the Princess Who Brought Sleep, The Tailor of En by Zaka, Judgment of Corruption, Happy Halloween, Selfish Princess, Solar System Disco, Literally Nonsense, We're Still Underground, Bad Apple, It's a Wonderful Cat Life, Pie Sensation, At God's Mercy, and Mesmerizer. Now, you might have noticed those last few are all songs that feature non-Krypton Vocaloids. Well, as it turns out, this game has way more songs with non-Krypton Vocaloids than any other project game, including songs that only have non-Krypton Vocaloids singing, like Fragile, Echo, King, Queen, I Want to Be Your Heart, The Earth's Final Confession, Dear Doppelganger, Copycat, All Night Thinking of You, A Born Coward, Setsuna Trip, Kokoro Nashi, Donut Hole, Our 16-Bit Wars, Envy Baby, Unaware Drunkard, The Transcendent Apple Salesgirl, Ochame Kino, Dame Ninjenda, Medicine, Boca della Verita, Venom, Villain, Fixer, Goodbye Sengen, Loveka, Egotist, Kinmokuse, Shadow, Do Not Go, Kyoufu, All Black, Relay Outer, Scum of the Earth, Lag Train, Cat Loving, Marshall Maximizer, Phony, and Kurokuran. And it's not all just pre-existing songs here. Since the whole thing with this game is that there are 5 bands, each one of them has a plethora of great original songs, like Stage of Sekai, Stella, Piki Piki, Show Off, Voices, Hoshi wo Tsunagu, Purpose, Regulus, Even So, We Won't Stop Singing, More Jump More, Worldwide Wander, Parasol Slider, The Peachy Key, Hug, Supernova, Forward, Rad Dog, Cinema, Beat Eater, Awake, Mirari, Flyer, City, One Sheep, Retainer Supplying His Lord, Realize, Blender, Inferno, Ultra C, Fuel, Becoming Potatoes, Nijiro Stories, Tondemo Wonders, Nikori Survey Team Theme, Glory Steady Go, Hoshizora Orchestra, Mr. Showtime, Kira Pipi, Kira Pika, Cyberpunk Dead Boy, The Tenrad That Lights Up the World, Sebai Itasu, Jackpot Sad Girl, Cell Phone Love Story, ID Smile, Lower One's Eye, Try College, Bug, I Am You, Samsa, Kitty, I'm the Rain, M Purple, and Monstrous Flower. A fun fact about these original songs is that they're commissions Sega did to popular Vocaloid producers like Pinocchio P, Doriko, Inabaku Mori, Iowa, Nakiso, Wonderful Opportunity, Mafu Mafu, Sasakure UK, 40MP, Michi M, and Oster Project, which is really cool Sega to do. It's not just original songs these bands do, but they also do covers of songs like Leonid covering Dramaturgy, Kagrio Days, and Hello Worker. Oh my god, more Jump covering Clockwork Clown, Romeo and Cinderella, and Viva Happy. Oh, it's so peak! Vivid Bad Squad covering Drop Pop Candy, Osmondas, and Love is War. Oh, it's absolute peak! Wonderlands covering Remote Controller, At God's Mercy, Childish War, Okami Kino. Oh my god, somebody cooked here! And Nightcord covering Venom, Villain, Goddish, and Lag Train? Oh! Then the 3D and 2D musicals made for these covers often reference the original music video, which is cool as fuck! Like, look at Lost Ones Weeping, Love Trial, The Vampire, Echo, Miracle Paint, Literally Nonsense, Goodbye Sengen, Phony, Ashite, and Bad Apple! And you can admire how beautiful all these videos are in the game with the music viewer. but I will say only use it to look at the 3D music videos because the 2D ones are very low resolution and have a weird CRT filter, so you're better off just watching them on YouTube where you can also hear the full version of the covers. Now, before moving on from the music, I just want to mention that this game also has 2 songs by Otto here for some reason. This isn't me complaining, I fucking love Otto, but like, why are they here? Why the fuck are they here?
The next big part of the game is the gacha part, and I'm gonna be so real right now, I do not know what these cards do. You can pull for cards, and each of these cards have different rarities and stuff. You can equip them before you go into a song, but they don't really make much of a difference. The only change is what people have commentary during a song, and if you have it activated, what characters appear during a 3D music video. Other than that feature, I guess they're just cool to look at. You can also put them in your profile too, so I guess there's that. Last thing to really talk about with this game are the shows you can attend. Just like with VR Future Live, this is a virtual concert mode.
Here you can create an avatar, walk around the lobby, talk to other people, and of course, attend concerts. These concerts are usually tied to an event that's currently happening, or a character's birthday. But during your first month or so of playing the game, you get access to a free concert for each group, which acts as the event concert for the main story.
During concerts, you can swing your light sticks, use emotes, and sometimes even jump. And that's about everything this game has to offer. Overall, this is one of the best experiences you can get out of any Miku game. I just wish this game was somehow on PC or consoles, but I can't even imagine how Sega would translate the gameplay over.
And that has been every single Hatsune Miku game. And while not all of them were amazing or anything, the vast majority of them were pretty good and introduced me to a lot of artists and songs I would have otherwise never listened to. Now, something interesting I noticed while working on this video was how Miku games parallel Miku in general. Miku and Vocaloids in general are malleable in nature and can be used for any type of song. Miku games are similar in how many genres of games Miku is in. Rhythm games, puzzle games, fitness games, minigame collections, and that's not even including all the cameo appearances she's made in other games. It's just a really neat detail I've noticed while making this video. It's kinda poetic in a way. Also, Kaido's my favorite Vocaloid. Krypton, please, if you're watching this, make more Kaido merch, please. I'm begging you. I'll give you my firstborn child. Please. Please!